All right, we're live.
What's up, guys? We are finally live. I'm gonna just go ahead and blame it on King. King, go ahead and explain why we're late again.
Technical difficulties per usual, but we are here. Guys, these cameras, man, I'm telling you, man, you pull one off, put it back in, doesn't work. Look, we're here.
I
We're
have nothing
here.
to do with it, bro. You see that Super Mario box right there? That was my job today to put that box up. As you
Hmm.
can see, the box is up
That's why we're late.
and it's leveled.
That's why we're
So,
late.
so whatever technical difficulties you talk about, I'm computer literate. I ain't got shit to do with
We were putting a Super
that.
Mario box up.
All right, guys. So it was storming like crazy today in Miami, and I tell you guys to avoid risk and liability when it comes to women. So we decided to just go ahead and open up the StreamYard link to you guys so you could jump in, join the conversation. We're going to review some clips,
Hmm.
but I didn't want any women coming. It's not that serious. And if something happens, then I feel responsible. Just like you shouldn't let women drink and then drive home. You shouldn't let them drive in bad weather to come see you. I know you guys are thirsty for some buns, but when it comes to chicks and children, you have to eliminate as much risk as possible.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, so we didn't want 4 to 6 women driving in what we had going on today in Miami. Forget about it.
Yeah, there's floods here, guys. Like
Hmm.
literally in Miami, it gets so bad that like your car is submerged in
Hmm.
water. So we
Hmm.
figured we'd do a
Yeah, we
s-
just do a live
yeah,
stream.
live stream and have the
With the
girls
stream
at
yard.
home that we would
Right.
have invited. So
And for all you guys that think that I'm overreacting, we've had multiple girls get in accidents already since January with
mhm,
no bad weather.
mhm.
With no bad weather whatsoever.
Yep.
So I was like, I saw a bunch of accidents on the road today. I was like, yeah, I can already see it happening. So,
Yeah, it's terrible out there today.
okay. So we got a couple people in the back already, but like I said, the StreamYard link is in the what is it in the chat? It's in the chat, right?
StreamYard links at the top of the chat, guys.
Okay.
Join up. We're gonna have some ladies join. I think
Mm-hmm.
most of which are from Miami, but we'll probably get maybe we'll get some from some other areas. But join up
Mm-hmm.
and send in your super chats if you have any questions. A couple quick announcements, guys. We do have maybe a movie review coming up soon, right? Maybe
Yeah, I'm thinking about tomorrow actually. I mean, it's short
tomorrow.
notice,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
see, okay, so Mario was excellent. I saw Mario. I enjoyed it, although it did have its little woke insertion in there. There was some feminist woke crap in there. For example, the main narrative of Mario is the hero's journey. He's trying to save the princess. That's always been the theme of that game since what, the 80s? When did
Beginning.
it come out? The 80s? Mario
Yeah,
had to come out the 80s.
yeah, like arcade style.
Yeah, so Mario has always been about trying to save the princess, and then his brother Luigi is backing him up. And in this particular movie, they decided to not make her a damsel in distress. So, but they did find a way to still make it entertaining, still good. It's still very much reminiscent of the game and Nintendo as a brand. So they did an excellent job of brand representation. I would go as far as to say they did a better job than Sonic,
Mm,
and I enjoyed
mm,
Sonic a lot, as
mm-hmm,
well as the sequel. The sequel
mm-hmm.
was just as good as the first one, which is a gamble. So anyhow, guys, the point is we're going between whether we want to see Mario or Dungeons and Dragons, which I heard they completely ruined. So we don't expect the movie to actually be good, but we were thinking to review it just so we can talk about these gender issues that they're bringing into entertainment now that is ruining all of our classics. And Dungeons and Dragons, I thought would have been a good example because it's a classic.
Right,
It's a very
right.
old IP. That's what you say, very old IP. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been around, and they're emasculating the dude all through the movie is what I heard. All right, guys. So I guess you could get in the chat and kind of. Do we know how to do the poll yet?
Not yet. We're gonna have to get guys, man. If you're in the Miami area,
Hmm.
we need a producer, man. We need a producer. We got
Hmm.
we're supposed to be getting our producer back soon. Actually, he's coming again next week, I think.
Hmm. But we still need,
But we're
we need to
gonna yeah we're
rotate.
gonna add some things. Um, we're gonna add sound effects
Hmm.
on the next stream, guys. I have two stream decks back there, three stream decks, one for the producer, two for me and Allende. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, man. It's we're
Mm.
pushing,
Which
but
is why it's funny every time a girl is like, "I want to start a podcast. I've been wanting to start a podcast." I'm like,
yeah, good luck.
"Okay, I can't wait to watch you go."
Right.
Yeah, guys, it's a ton of things that are involved. when you're not just somebody in front of a computer with a camera and a mic. When you're actually trying to have a production and have guests and have multiple hosts and multiple
Mm-hmm.
people and put stuff up on the screen, and yeah, it's a whole shebang.
Right.
All right, so we got a variety of clips actually. They're not all because somebody was talking shit already in the comments. Guys, you know what's funny? Guys act like I can't put fresh and fit in the title whenever I feel like it. Like anybody can put fresh and fit in the title whenever they want, and it's not a problem. But somehow it's a problem when I put it, and it should be the least of an issue when one of us put it. If I want to put Fresh and Fit in the title, if he wants to put Fresh and Fit in the title, if Unfiltered, oh, shout out to Unfiltered, by the way. If Unfiltered Podcast wants to put Fresh and Fit in the title, if We in Miami wants to put Fresh and Fit in the title, if anybody that at one point in time they used or benefited off of to start their platform, anybody that at one point in time was an ally with them, yeah, we of all people should be able to use their shit whenever the fuck we feel like it. And the YouTube game is has been like that. So that's the funny thing is that when these guys come in here with these little comments, like, what exactly are you trying to say when the entire YouTube operates that way?
Mm-hmm.
That's why fair use is even a thing. YouTube is mostly reactionary videos. It's mostly people commenting on other content that's pre-existing. So explain to me why somehow that's supposed to be off limits. Because that's what we were gonna do. And then we
Mm-hmm.
talked about it. And we're like, why are we avoiding talking about this podcast like we're not allowed?
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, the clips that we're covering that happen to be from the Fresh and Fit show are actually very interesting, which is why we chose to talk about them because they're very interesting clips, just as interesting as the Kevin Samuels clips we choose, or the Andrew Tate clips that we choose, or the whatever clips that we choose, or the Melanie King clips that we choose. So anybody that has anything to say about that, you know what you can suck. So let's bring a couple of people up, and then
Yeah, we got some special guests, so we'll bring them up.
yeah,
And
we'll start with the clips. All right, let me see, where am I here?
yeah, guys, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. He dealt with Fresh and Fit. I was dealing with them, so yeah, we know those guys personally. I have both of their phone numbers in my phone. So yeah, pictures, videos, I hung out with them a lot. So when we're putting him in the title, it's we're the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
the,
That's all
the,
I'll
the
say.
point is, at no point in time were they not part of the conversation, or were we not part of the like we had these conversations with them at one point in time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I decided that it doesn't make any sense for me to avoid them as if. Um, but interestingly enough, I chose not to build the channel off of that. I could have easily just been a reactionary channel to Fresh and Fit, and my shit would have grown astronomically in a short period of time. But I
Mm-hmm.
chose to do it a different way and talk about other things I thought was important.
Right.
Now the clips that I'm choosing, the topics are important. So get off my dick.
Yeah. So
Um,
we have a special guest here, guys. Nyreem, how are you? Can you hear us? I think she can hear us.
is your
Nyreem, can you hear us? I think she might be
I don't know what's going
muted.
on. Who's muted?
We're not muted. I'm not sure.
She's up. Does she not know she's up?
Nyreem, can you hear us? She can't hear us. That's weird. Huh. Peter, can you hear us?
Guys, let us know in the chat. Can you hear us? Let me bring Pete up. Let me see if Pete can hear us.
We didn't change anything. Pete,
Yeah.
can you hear us?
Can you turn your phone horizontal?
Oh, this
Yeah,
way?
just so you get
Yeah.
some continuity.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
she should be able to
you
hear us.
can hear us? All right, so
Turn your volume up. She can't even hear us to turn the volume up. I would text her. Turn your volume up.
yeah, I don't know what that's about.
That's weird.
Pete, what's going on, man? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my name's Peter, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm in college.
Okay, Pete, you were here on the last stream, and we had a really, really cool conversation. Give us a little bit more about, talk a little bit more about yourself. What do you go to school for? Your background, and we'll get the lady back in here. We got another lady coming too, guys. But yeah, give us a little more information, Pete, because we want to.
Yeah, so I'm going to school for business management, and I'm looking to get into real estate with that. So that's how I'm going to make hopefully how I'm going to make my living. I came from a I guess, secure household. So mom and dad. So no single mother. I'm very appreciative that that happened to me. And yeah, I guess I get a just in for you guys. I'd like to say the stuff you put out is absolutely fantastic. It has really changed my life for the better.
I don't believe you. Prove it.
Prove it, Pete. No, no,
Prove it,
man.
Pete.
We appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're constantly, trying to help out guys like yourself. We had a great conversation last time. As I said before, business management is probably something you want to change, get into a focus like finance. Something that you can kind of make some money off of. But
Right.
the lovely lady is back. Let's see if we can get her back up in the stream.
You want me to add
Um,
her? Let me see.
yeah, let's add her back and see if she can hear. Can you hear us?
Me?
Now
Oh,
we can hear you.
okay.
Can
We
you
can
hear
hear you
us?
now.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, Naeem, meet Pete. Pete, me Naeem. There you go.
All right, guys. So Nareem, welcome back to the show, and give us your well, we know your name. Give us your age, your relationship status, and your occupation.
So I'm years old. Um, I'm Cuban. I'm in a relationship going on 4 years now. And I'm a health service coordinator for an insurance HMO.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Now you were on the show previously, and we had a really great discussion. This time we're gonna review some clips with you, and I think we have another lovely lady coming here soon. So, guys in the chat. So if you're in the chat, the StreamYard link is at the top. If you'd like to talk to Nyreme or if you have any questions, come into the StreamYard and or send in a super chat or you can send us a Cash App. You don't have to talk to her, but I'm just saying we want to get some more engagement, and we got a whole nother side over there that we're trying to build, guys. So anything helps.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can copy the link out of the description, but try to copy it and send it to a chick that you want to put on the spot.
Right.
You guys should have some girls that you can dare to come on and join the discussion.
Right.
But we got plenty of clips, so we're gonna go ahead and roll the first one and get the party started. We don't want you to keep you guys waiting too much.
Yeah.
But shout out to Jay Velez in there.
What's up, Jay?
Well, Jay, you're just tuning in, so you missed the explanation for why we didn't bring some women in studio. But yeah, I just didn't feel it was safe, man. The weather's really bad, and I don't want to be responsible, man. I take
Yeah.
myself out of that type of.
We're in tropical storm weather right now here in Miami, so it's pretty bad. So yeah, we just figured we'd do it remote this time. So all right, guys, we're gonna jump into these clips. Also, guys, real quick, mentuitionacademy.com is live. So if you go to mentuitionacademy.com, it'll take you straight to the YouTube page where you can it just links to our page, so it's a little easier than youtube.com/@mentuition academy. It's just too much to say. So mentuitionacademy.com. All right, guys, let's jump into this clip, and we will get reactions here.
Two guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child. 40%. He said 40%.
Somebody call
and
Maury.
it's usually
Make DNA testing
it's
mandatory.
two scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on a deathbed and makes a confession, or they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion, and the blood type, there's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out because of medical reasons, you mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such.
They can't hear us at all. They can't hear me or the thing.
I can hear.
Oh, you can hear us?
Yeah. Everything.
Oh, okay. Pete, I was asking you what college, what campus are you on?
University of California, Santa Cruz.
What's the ratio of boys to girls?
Pretty 50-50. Maybe slightly more girls.
That sucks. You need to be like 70-30. Well, actually, it probably is more like 80-20 because the chicks are probably only digging 20% of the dudes anyway. I would imagine.
Yeah.
What's that right there? Yeah, you're not messing with the girls on campus, though, are you?
Sometimes.
Oh man, you running a risk, brother. You're running a risk. You gambling with your
I had
education.
two guys call in. They work at DNA testing.
All it takes is for one chick to say, I felt unsafe. I felt
Centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works
That's all
there.
it
He
takes,
told
brother.
me 40% of the children are not
See,
the
my whole
man's
thing is
child.
visiting public schools.
40%. He said 40%.
Somebody cool
And
Maury.
it's
Yeah, they can still hear us. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I
All
was.
right. All right. Come on, man. Let's go. What the heck? All right, dude, I'm gonna ban you out of here right now. Talking about you want to smell Nareem's armpits. Is this the same guy from before with the armpits thing? Yeah, because this is the crazy thing. I'm not a hypocrite, so I actually like smelling women's armpits. I smelled a couple armpits this week alone. Well, when you put it in there like that, you just come off as a creep, bro.
I mean, somebody commented on my weight, but I'm a petite girl. What am I
What,
gonna do?
what's what?
Yeah, but
Yeah, this is the same dude from
you know what
last
it
week.
is? You don't know if guys are like genuinely trying to criticize or they're just trying to get
But
attention.
it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
their opinion.
This is the thing. When you got a dad growing up, like you got a father in your life, you have to like achieve things to get attention. You know what I mean? But when you don't have a father figure, what you do is you act out for attention. So it's really depressing that in this space, there's a lot of guys misrepresenting us on a whole. I don't know. Maybe that's the majority of dudes these days. According to the women, majority of the dudes are weak. They have these lame ass tactics. So yeah, I see that a lot in the space, and I'm just like, man, you guys make it really hard to defend you. I'm just keeping it real. So hopefully there's not guys over there butt hurt like, oh, don't degrade and disrespect your fan base, Allende. That's no, bro. I'm not gonna pander to you. Trust me. If I cared that much about the views and the subs, trust me, there's a lot of other things I would have been doing to build the channel. So I'm not gonna pander. To me, that's just as lame as selling drama. But anyway, my overall point is you guys make it really hard to defend you when you say creepy, weak, weird, lame shit. When you try to get girls' attentions by insulting them, like you try to get a girl's attention by insulting her, like why don't you charm a girl in the chat, bro? If you can get a girl interested in you from text alone, you don't have an avatar, you don't have a profile picture or nothing, but you can type something that makes a girl be like, damn, I want to put the face.
That's fine.
Right. Like if a guy types something that really intrigues you, wouldn't you be curious to like try to put the face with the message?
Absolutely, I would engage because it would resonate with me.
Mm-hmm. So, but when you put lame stuff
You
like
guys small, like I see the men tuition bigger than like the labels bigger than your screen. Just wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, we're about to play the video. All right, let's get into the video.
oh yeah, we're about to play the video.
We're talking
Go ahead.
about armpits. And,
Yeah, well, I want to smell her armpits, man. They
yeah.
need to create a technology where you can like
Shower. I'm
smell.
natural right
All
now.
right, video started.
I had two guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child. 40%. He said 40%.
Somebody cool
And
Maury.
it's
Make
usually
DNA testing
it's
mandatory.
two scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on a deathbed and makes a confession,
Oh,
or
God.
they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion, and the blood type. There's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out because of medical reasons. You mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such a toll on him that he could no longer do it because he would be sitting on the phone counseling the men and the grown children who these women falsely accuse. We see it on Maury, we see it on paternity court, but yet we say men need to be held accountable. It is
Yes.
proven.
Okay. Real quick, can I plug my own stuff real quick? Can I plug my own shit? So real quick, guys, before we talk about that clip, take note that I actually did a video on this topic over a year ago. And I want you guys to go watch this video, not because I give a shit about the views, but that probably would be nice too. But I want you guys to check out this video because I approached it from a very, very serious place and angle. The video is called You Are Not the Father. So just, I guess, put in authentic alphas, you are not the father. But I put some statistics and some interesting information in there that I want, like, especially young men to be aware of,
Mm-hmm.
because this is a very serious issue. Like Melanie King said it, and I know to a lot of people it might be the first time that they heard it and blah blah blah. But no, 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 no. This is a very serious topic, because that number that she gave is not just like whatever hospital that dude worked at.
Right.
That number is actually global. So especially in what we consider, I guess, developed countries. So a majority of countries, minus I think like Asian countries, there's like some Eastern countries that it's not that big of an issue. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the world, including Latin America and a lot of the countries you consider third world countries, the percentage of fathers that are not actually the biological father falls in the 30s. So what I'm trying to say is this is very interesting, because it has nothing to do with race, it has nothing to do with culture, has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with language. 30 something percent, whether it's 31, 34, 36, but somewhere in the 30s, in every culture, that's not the biological father. So the point is that it's a biological phenomenon. There's something about the female human that 30% of the time she's labeling somebody else the father. So anyhow, guys, just check out that video. You are not the father.
Mm-hmm.
Who you want to start with?
Yeah, let's start with Nareem. What do you think about that clip? I want to get your intake on that. We'll go to Pete, and then we'll
As
comment.
a woman, you got to start your sentence with "as a woman."
As a woman being Nareem, I
Do you know some shady chicks that like
I
do
don't
you know any girls that kind of mess around and trap dudes or act like go and bang another dude and then
No,
maybe it's
man, just ask her if she knows
I
anybody
don't
that's not the real father.
them. I don't personally know them, but I know of them. So I mean, like, Miami is pretty um
Mm.
and I would say that I had, first of all, for the percentage to be 40% is sad, is really sad. And I don't think that we take into consideration, like, this is not just games we're playing, right? Like, as women that do that, where we're stating that they're the father and they're not. Clearly they know that. And if you have any doubt, then have that conversation and figure it out when it's early versus when it's too late. And for me personally, I think it's heartbreaking, and we kind of neglect the part where men actually have feelings and they grow a bond with who they think it's their son. So for me, it's just heartbreaking to see the emotional part of that. Then comes the child, right?
right.
Then the woman, like, any woman that does this, I can't say that doesn't have a heart, but in some way, shape, or form, she really believes that this is gonna be like, he'll never find out kind of thing. And that's absurd to me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any woman should do that. I personally really believe that they should make a law where they must do DNA tests at birth. I think that that's fair to say. I think it would avoid a lot of things, especially, this kind of thing.
Do you,
Um,
do you think women should be charged? There should be something called paternity theft, paternity fraud.
I would say yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
Pete.
absolutely.
Pete, what do you think? What do you think about women? You know, basically blaming a kid on a guy that's not his. What do you think of
Uh,
that percentage that she said? Is what do you think about all that?
I don't think it's a good look. It's a really bad look, really bad thing that's happening.
Mhm.
To put that on a man who is not the true father is putting responsibility on his shoulders that he should not necessarily have. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this, and I said it in the last podcast we had, I think yesterday. When women cheat or when women do things, it's just far more savage. It's far more messed up. And I'm not saying that a guy cheating is is right or anyone should do what she's talking about, but women they hold the key to life. And if you're blaming a kid on a guy who you clearly know is not his kid, he's trapped for 18 years. He has to take care of that kid for 18 years. As Nareem said, he gets a emotional attachment to that kid. And when he finds out, or if he ever finds out the kid's not his, it ruins him. It wrecks him. If a guy goes out and cheats, right, the kid's not moving in the house. He's got it from some side chick, right, that she may never know about. The worst that happens is maybe he's spending money on her, giving the side chick money to take care of the kid, but there's no bond that happens between his girlfriend or his wife and the kid, right? So it's far more messed up when women do things like this. Women have so much power with their womb that they don't really understand. This is why other cultures keep women out of this kind of stuff, because it starts to get very cloudy and messed up. But I'm just gonna say, and I think Nareem, you're gonna say something, but
Yeah.
I really do believe that this kind of stuff is the most savage like thing a woman could do to a guy. Like that's to raise another guy's kid. Like that's probably at the top of almost every guy's list of like the most effed up thing you could do. What were you gonna say, Nareem?
So I was say based off of what you were saying. So when a guy steps out and cheats and normally has a baby, because I feel like it's a two-way thing, right? It could happen, obviously a woman doing it, but a man, when he does it, it's like, this is the woman I cheated with. This is the child that I had with this person. And it could be addressed, in other words. And half the times, I don't know the percentage, but I would say most women, especially if they had a family and they had children within themselves, they would actually stay with this man. Made a mistake. I can deal with it. Um, they wouldn't easily just walk away. So I think that's very different just for the women that'll make an argument against that, because it's not the same thing to be able to carry a child for 9 months. You're dealing with this person's family as well, which they're growing an emotional attachment to a child that isn't even present. Once it's present, years pass, and suddenly this happens and you find out this way. I think I absolutely agree that this is the most savage thing a woman can do. And I can't debate that.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair that we call extramarital, uh, relational children a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's fair because the child born within the relationship is often a mistake. Most children that are conceived are not planned.
The cheating part.
Whether the people are married or together, living together, whatever, most children in general were not planned. Very few people, their parents got together and said, "We are trying to make a baby, and we plan to get pregnant at this time. We want this baby. We got the room ready. I painted. I picked the color. I got the crib in there already." That's like what, 15% of the time. Usually, people just, "Oh, I'm late," whether they're in a committed relationship or not. So I'm saying that as to say, like, who's to say that the baby born within the relationship is any more intentional than the baby that was born outside? That's just the way nature operates intentionally. Sex feels good for a reason, because it's incentivizing us to procreate, even if by accident. Because if all babies were intentional and planned and both parents consent or whatever, very few people would exist, because people would choose the selfish route, which is to not have kids at all, or to prolong having children, or they would be those people that are waiting until everything is perfect, which never happens. When is everything absolutely perfect? So a lot of people, they're only here because their parents wanted a nut, and it happened, and they kept it, and they did the best they could. So I think a lot of these women, they just can't handle the pressure of that situation, which is why they, like you always say, they choose the path with the least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as intentional. I think guys need to stop taking everything that women do personal. I'm tired of telling guys, bro, stop taking it personal. I'm tired of this space acting like women are our enemies. This is not the way these discussions need to be had. This is why we are where we are now, because they've convinced women that men are their enemies. And now we're counteracting that by convincing young men that women are their enemies. Stop.
Mhm.
Lions are not your enemies, but lions are dangerous when they're in their natural, state and their natural behavior. Okay? Everything is dangerous until you understand how it operates and you learn how to protect yourself in that situation, which is why I'm suggesting guys go to that video, You Are Not the Father, because my argument isn't, oh my God, women are terrible people. They lie about who the father is. Sometimes the women don't even know that guy's not the real father. Sometimes they fooled around with a guy once and they weren't even like with the other guy. Maybe they were separated temporarily. Maybe they weren't even in a serious committed relationship and they went and hooked up with some other guy and they didn't even realize they were pregnant. Then they slipped into a relationship with this guy a couple weeks later or whatever. And then a month and a half later, she's like, yo, I'm pregnant. And she 100% thinks it's the guy that she's in the relationship with. She may not even know. If her taste in guys is consistent, when the baby's born, she's not like, uh-oh, it doesn't even look like him. You see, if her taste is consistent, then both dudes might resemble each other. She likes black guys, both guys might be black. So a lot of times what rings the alarm is that the two guys don't look like each other at all. If that doesn't happen, sometimes the mom doesn't know is my point, guys. So anyhow, I just wanted to point that out. Like, I don't want to make this women are terrible people. And then also we have to be cognizant of the elites part in this. There's a reason why male birth control is just now becoming a conversation. If you really think that it took this long for them to figure out how to make male birth control, you're not using your brain. You're only thinking about what they put in front of your face. You're not thinking about what they don't present to you. And I'm wondering, why is that such a unique question? Where's the male birth control? You hardly hear anybody asking that question. Well, if men are so pro men and we're tired of dealing with these unfair issues, in regards to men, why aren't you guys asking intelligent questions like, where the fuck is the male birth control? We want it now. Somebody make it, because we'll buy it. There are solutions to these issues on my point. Bitching and blaming women are not the solution. Getting male birth control on the assembly line, that's a solution. Figuring out how to call your senator and make it mandatory DNA testing when babies are born before a father's name goes on the birth certificate. That would be a solution. And if all men came together and say, listen, we want this and we want this now from our government, they would have to respond. If every guy is petitioning for it, they can't just ignore that request. They have to address it. And in addressing it, they would have to explain, why aren't you doing it? Why are you not making it mandatory, sir? Mr. Senator, Mr. President, or whoever, why are you not making it mandatory in this state that the children be tested before you put a man's name on the birth certificate? So let's kind of think like that, guys. As men, let's be solution orientated and problem solve and stop blaming women just for being women. All right.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna
Next
go to
clip?
the next clip.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Once again, guys, join up. The StreamYard link is at the top.
And that with the number of sexual partners that a woman has before marriage, it exponentially increases the likelihood of divorce.
No, you're right.
Even with just one partner and two, like low body counts.
Yeah, the more premarital sexual partners you have, the greater likelihood of reporting relationship dissatisfaction, the higher likelihood of infidelity, higher likelihood of divorce. But the way the dating landscape is that men are not really incentivized to commit because women will have sex with a dude on the first, second, third date. So women dictate whether there is a hookup culture or not.
Yeah.
And I don't think men or women are particularly satisfied with status quo. So if we want to see us straying away from a hookup culture, women are going to have to lead the charge on that.
All right. And I think he basically just turned the table and said the same damn thing I said. Instead of women blaming men for hookup
You're
culture,
missing my point. You're literally taking it literally instead of reading in between the lines. If you're an alpha and you are comfortable within yourself and being confident why does it matter if you're also with an alpha?
because those
Or someone who's also strong-minded.
That's it right there.
All right, go ahead. Keep talking. I need to fix this real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. I mean, so basically, he's actually saying the same exact thing that I just said to men. He just said to women. Instead of over here complaining that it's men that are responsible for the hookup culture, women themselves could all come together and say, "Hey, let's stop giving out free pussy." Like, Like for real. Like it's that simple. It's that easy. If women want guys to stop expecting sex within the first 3 dates, all women have to do is collectively stop having sex with guys within the first 3 dates. That's the difference between the traditional mindset or the traditional courting and this modern day hookup culture. The difference is back then, women were not giving up any butt if you weren't their boyfriend. And if you go back further, they weren't giving up any butt unless you were their husband. This shit is not rocket science, man. I don't understand this. Like, it's really not that hard. But if you have some women or majority of women hooking up with the hottest guys on the first night, then all the other guys can't take you seriously when you say, I'm not like that. And I don't hook up with people right away. And I don't kiss on the first date. It's like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. So that's all I'm saying, is that the women can kind of solve certain problems themselves, and the guys can also solve certain problems ourselves. We can't sit here and blame women for being thoughts and being OnlyFans models or whatever when guys are funding it. It's just like you can't sit here and blame Nike for having children working in sweatshops, but yet you got 17 pair of Nikes in your closet right now. What's going on? We vote with our dollar, and we vote with our attention. So if we're giving these women attention for this type of behavior, how are we incentivizing them to stop behaving that way? I personally have never given women attention for twerking, not ever. But I've had tons of guys send me videos like, yo, check this out, look at her. It's like, bro, I don't care about that. But if everybody ignored her, she would quickly stop twerking, is what I'm saying.
I mean, hookup culture is certainly something I think that is enabled by women, or at least them hooking up with guys. Typically, women, I think, hook up with the coolest guys, the hot guys, the guys that are lit. I benefit from hookup culture. I'm a DJ, and so when I'm out DJing, I've hooked up with a lot of chicks, and I don't even think it's because necessarily I'm the best looking dude. It's just because I'm the DJ. Women will hook up with a guy because of his status, his what he's doing, what he is. It's not always how he looks. I've seen DJs who I think are ugly as hell hook up with the hottest chicks because they're in a situation where they just look cool. The DJ is the coolest guy in the room. I'm a DJ here in Miami. There's a scammer or baller or some dude with a bunch of chains on. I could get his girls and his VIP to come to the DJ booth. The DJ booth is where you want to be. So I mean, I think that hookup culture is definitely. We did a video on South Beach where we were kind of talking about. We had some girl saying, "I don't want to date, but I'll hook up though," or something like that. It was some girl from Spain that we were talking to that was like, "Yeah, I don't want a boyfriend, or but I'll hook up." And she was on like 22, 23 years old.
We got a
so
clip like that coming up. I mean, that's common. That's common stuff.
Very common nowadays with the younger generation.
Thought process, but the thing is, when women say that, they don't actually mean that. What that is that's a cope. That's I want commitment, but I can't get commitment, so I'm gonna act like I don't want it, so I don't look like a failure, like I don't look like I'm getting rejected. Women are terrified of not only being rejected, but by people knowing they've been rejected. So it's like a little secret they're trying to keep, like shit stains in your drawers. You don't want people knowing you got shit stains in your drawers, so don't wear drawers at all. That's women's logic. I don't want people to know I got shit stains in my drawers, so you know what I'll do? I won't wear drawers at all.
Nyreen, what do you think about hookup culture? What's your take on Miami's hookup culture? I know it's crazy, but just in general, what do you think of that clip?
I think the same thing as far as yeah, we can't blame women, right? And men also have a choice not to involve themselves in the act of hooking up.
Well, why wouldn't they though? It benefits us the same way that women being taken out by guys that they're not interested in, it benefits them. That's why guys complaining about women and the friend zone is asinine. Why would a woman tell you to stop giving her free attention? Why would a woman say, hey, stop giving me random money to pay bills that aren't your responsibility? Hey, stop buying me nice things. I'm not your girlfriend. Hey, stop taking me on lavish dates and treating me special. I'm not your girlfriend. Why would she turn that down? I don't understand how men are mad at women for not accepting free shit. Just like you can't be mad at men for not turning down free blowjobs and easy sex without any type of effort or commitment.
Right. But at the same time, it's like so it takes two to tango. And in the sense of like, if this woman is not going to be anything to you, and it depends how you're going to go about it. If you're going to hook up and you're going to have fun and a woman's throwing herself at you, then obviously a man's going to do what a man's going to do. But also, it doesn't mean that a man has to always go about that route, because you should have some standards and expectations, even on the physical side. So if you go as far as that, like, you don't necessarily have to have a conversation with this woman, but when you look at her, you have to have standard. I would assume.
Says who? Hold on. That says who? Same analogy. Same analogy. Does a woman have to have a standard on the guy that's spoiling her and treating her special? If a guy is taking a chick on a $2,500 shopping spree for the day, does it matter to her how he looks, how tall he is, how good he smells, how good his social skills are? It doesn't matter to her. All that matters is that when he swipes that credit card, they do not say declined. That's all that matters in that scenario.
And I can't disagree with you, but I'm not that type of woman, and I don't hang around with women like that. So for me, it's hard to be able to answer that in the sense where it's like, yeah, okay, women don't do that. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I know that women down here hook up with men. For example, as King was saying earlier, he's a DJ. In Miami, for sure, you want to be in the DJ booth. It doesn't matter who you came with and the promoter that got you in. It's like, no, you want to be in the DJ booth. So you're going to have a lot more women throwing themselves at you, is what I'm saying.
Well, they want to be where the most attention is, because to them, that's the currency. So they want to be where the most attention is, just like they want to be where the most money is. I mean, it's natural, but
and nowadays it's seen more than it's ever been. I feel like, or at least it's more public, obviously, and more normalized. I don't agree with it necessarily. I don't agree with those type of behaviors whatsoever. Now, I do expect that a man, just because a woman is throwing themselves at them, doesn't necessarily mean he has to partake in that.
Nobody says has to, though. See, this is the thing. This is where I don't agree with you. I think this is absolutely 100% not men's responsibility. Not at all. Now, what I could say to men is, and this still isn't men's fault, but this is the furthest that I could stretch it. The furthest that I could stretch it is, hey, guys, stop hooking up with chicks that are several point deviations below you, because you're leading these women on and letting them think that that's the caliber of guy that they deserve. Now, I still can't even technically blame guys for that, because that's blaming guys for women's ignorance. If women can't figure out that you're a 4 or a 5, what the hell makes you think that you can get a 9 or a 10 to do more than just hook up with you one night? I mean, most of the time, those guys won't even spend the night. And if they do, it's because they're exhausted or they don't want to drive drunk or whatever. But the next day, trust me, they get up regretting it. They get up like, ugh, I hooked up with that last night. Oh, God. And we've all had those. Well, I can't say we all have, but if you get buns, you've had those encounters. I know Pete's probably had those encounters. Pete, have you ever Coyote Ugly? You ever hooked up with a chick and the next day you're like, oh, what did I do?
I can't. It's not appealing to me.
All right. Well, see, he has a little bit more self-control over his week.
You have integrity, Pete.
Yeah, you got.
I like you.
Well, Pete, listen, I've had some days. They were very few, and they were when I was younger. And once I realized that, bro, you're a go-getter, and not every night you gotta hit something. Sometimes you can go home alone.
Right.
But I used to be very, very determined on going home with something every night, and sometimes you had to go a little bit lower. The point is, I don't see that being the guy's responsibility. So if I'm at a club and I'm a bouncer, and there's girls that get in with fake IDs, you know whose fault that is? That's my fault. Because I'm the bouncer. And I used to be the head of the security. So it's like really, really my fault. Even if another bouncer lets her slide, it comes back on me now, because I'm supposed to be supervising these guys. If a dude is in there wearing a hat and the rule is no hats, guess who the manager is coming to? It's coming to the head of security. Like, dude, how did somebody manage to make it in here with a baseball cap? So what I'm saying is, women are the gatekeepers to vagina, whether individually or collectively. So even the women that are doing their job individually, they're playing goalie, right? They're gatekeeping. They're still losing out here, because the majority of women are not on code when it comes to giving men that don't deserve access. They're giving men access based on qualifications rather than actual
Basic things that you would want, loyalty,
no, like what I'm saying, yeah, right. Like what I'm saying is they didn't actually do anything. They were just good looking enough or had enough status. Like I try to tell guys, when you have enough money, you don't even have to spend it anymore to get the result of spending it. When you have enough money and women know you have money, you will get all the same things out of women without actually spending the money because they know it's there. Right? But that's their fault. They're supposed to still make that guy put in the effort, still make him put in the work, and they don't. So what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if the girl's not that good looking. It doesn't matter what the standard is. The point is it's not men's responsibility at all. Just like, see, because I'm not biased with it. I'm not trying to say that guys don't have any accountability or responsibility. I'm saying this one is not on the guys. Just like when it comes to the friend zone crap, that's not on the women, man. I'm sorry. I tell guys all the time because they start the conversation off. They get the consult from me, and I say, "Hey guys, what do you want to talk about?" "Hey Allende, so here's the thing, man. This girl put me in the friend zone." Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. We're 47 seconds into the conversation, and already I have to stop you, okay? Because you're coming into this wrong. She didn't put you in the friend zone, my man. You put yourself in the friend zone. A woman cannot put you in the friend zone, just like a man can't force a woman to do a one-night stand. He can't force you into hookup culture. That would be illegal. I'm not using that word, but that would be illegal if he took it from you. So he didn't force you into hookup culture. So if he smashes and don't call you the next day, that's not his fault. You smashed a stranger. Lying is not illegal. So if he made you think that, hey, I really like you, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, I swear to God, and he didn't, that's your fault. And when women sit there and say, oh, well, he didn't want to be a father and he left me, it's like, well, were you married before you had the baby or you got pregnant? No. So then how is it the guy's fault? Because he manipulated him, he deceived you. Listen, sis, you can't manipulate a woman into thinking that you want to marry her without actually marrying her. Think about that for a second. What did I do? Put a fake ring on her? Did I put a hologram on her finger? If he didn't put a real ring on your finger, whatever he said is obsolete. Marry before you carry. This is why a woman is never going to try to beat me in the head with that it's my baby daddy's fault argument. There's no way to get around it. You let him smash before marriage. That's strike number one. You let him smash raw, okay, without marriage. That's strike number two, okay? And then you got pregnant before marriage. 3 strikes, you're out. There's nothing that you can say. It's all on you because it was your responsibility. We're not saying he's a great guy. We're not saying he's honest. We're saying you didn't do your due diligence. Same thing with dudes. The amount of guys that call me on a fucking consult to tell me how they spent so much money on a stranger. And then they act like they're the victim. They're like, yeah, Yandy, so I took this girl on this date and I made reservations and I spent $400. I'm like, well, how long did you know this girl? Oh, well, no, I was just talking back and forth with her, on Instagram or I met her on Tinder. And it's like, and the first date you spent $300. Okay, so how are you the victim in this equation? You see what I'm trying to say?
Hookup culture benefits women entirely. I think, as I said, I've benefited as a DJ to smash a lot of chicks. There's been a lot of chicks that I've dealt with who were just mad at their boyfriend. There's some game for you guys out here. Women, you ladies, the 2 of you that are in here, the 1.5 of you that are in here, you get to benefit from having sexual options almost pretty much all the time. I can't say all the time, but almost all the time. So I've hooked up with girls who are, and I'm not proud of this, but who are boyfriends, who are married. And it's like, I was mad at him. So I just went out and I just slipped on your penis, right? And
or bored.
Or bored.
Just
So
bored.
women, guys, I want you guys to pay attention. There are women out here that if they just get in an argument with her, she'll go out and smash some other dude just because 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So you guys got to pay attention, and they can hook up real quick and you'll never find out. You'll never know. So this is one of those double standards. We talk about double standards a lot that I think benefits women. And I agree with Allende. You can't really put this one on the men at all. You guys hold the key to sex and it is what it is. What up, Seth? I see you, brother.
Yeah, I'm just about to say, Seth, can you real quick before you introduce yourself, can you just turn your phone horizontal? Can we get a landscape?
Let me see. Let me try it out real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna get some symmetry here.
There we go.
We got some symmetry. What's up,
That's
brother?
perfect.
How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? Doing good, man. Doing good. A little tired, but hey, I saw y'all was up. I was like, what? I better jump in and show some love.
Tired from
Hey,
working
man.
though, right?
Welcome back.
Working and school, man. Remember, you remember it's a two-way grind over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
man.
not mad at you. So what we were talking about is hookup culture and who's responsible and how can it be rectified. And so real quick, I want to get Pete. If Pete, do you have anything on it, or we'll just go to Seth on this one? Well, you're in college, so I want to hear what you got to say about hookup culture.
Yeah, I want to hear Pete too, honestly.
It's pretty much a given in college now. I have not seen an instance where it doesn't exist. It's like the norm now.
You know what I used to? You know what my generation had to do in college? This is G stuff. So anyhow, I'm graduating class of 2000, right? So that's the year that we graduated from high school. So college would be from 2000 to 2004, right? So back then, this was the strategy. To hook up with a girl on campus, she pretty much had to be like your girlfriend for the most part. I'm not saying obviously people didn't have hookups outside of a relationship, but for the most part, majority of the guys that were getting laid, it was because either they were just like super gifted in some area, either an athlete or something like that. But the average student that was getting butt, it's because they had a girlfriend. It's because they were dating a girl on campus. So what I used to do, because I'm always trying to like outthink the situation, so I figured it out. Wink, wink. Like I figured it out from high school because I was doing this shit from high school. And matter of fact, I was doing this from the neighborhood because I realized that when you try to smash women in your vicinity, that you mutually know people, that's when they shut you down. They're like, we got to be in a relationship. Because it's not that they're not comfortable hooking up with someone they're not in a relationship with. It's because they're protecting their reputation, which is what the modern woman has no idea about. Like the modern woman can't even, like they have no idea what that is. Social media has ruined that concept because we don't have any privacy anymore. But growing up in the 90s, what women were concerned about is what people knew about them. So when girls would ask me like, yo, you know so-and-so and so-and-so, he could be the most popular dude. I know him. I'd be like, nah. Who? From where? Nah, I never heard of him. Bro, I could have been with the dude yesterday. But I'd be like, nah, I don't know him. I've never heard of him. Smash. See, other dudes, they fail that test. And they say, yeah, I know him. That's my boy, yo. That's my boy with the play. Yeah, we playing ball and stuff. And the girl's like, okay, no but for you. Because if I sleep with you, you're going to run your mouth and tell everybody, right? So I figured that out early. And I would go to other neighborhoods. I would take the bus or the train and I would go somewhere completely different. And I would meet girls. And I'd be able to smash, right? And I stopped trying to smash the girls in my neighborhood. And then I brought that to high school and I started smashing girls in other high schools. Anytime we had a football game or whatever, I was the dude over there hollering at the cheerleaders from the other school, hollering at the girls from the other school, right? So by the time I got college age, I would start taking trips. I would start going to whole other states. I would go to their college events and pick up the chicks and do what I do. And I'd be able to close the deal in a weekend, 4 days, 5 days, however short period of time I was out there. And then I would go back when you get what I'm saying. So that's just a little bit of advice to you guys. Stop doing the Monica Lewinsky, bro. Stop messing with chicks within your vicinity. It's trouble. Travel for the coochie. You'll get it easier, you'll get it faster, and it will be less problematic. It won't be a liability because it's over there somewhere.
What you got for us, Seth? What you got to say on the topic? Did you?
So, I get, especially like in response to what a lot of folks in the space, like Manosphere and all that, what they'll say on this topic is, hookup culture is bad for women. I say it's bad for everybody, right? Because guess what happens, right? Liberation means guess what? A woman can sleep with whomever she wants. Okay, cool, no problem. At first, but then all of a sudden, she may have 1, 2 children it could be 1, could be 2 baby daddies. And then next thing you know, and how do those children grow up? Those children grow up in the type of upbringing that is suboptimal for raising children. And guess what that means? Those are still those same children eventually have to get out and be part of the dating market.
Yep.
Right. And those are the young men and women that everybody has to pick from. And so I guess my argument is it's bad for everyone because it potentially just kind of murks up the whole dating pool.
But whose fault is it and who can rectify it?
Women are the ones who have the access, I mean, it's tough to put this one on the guys. It really is tough to put this one on the guys because that's like expecting 5-year-olds not to eat candy if you put a plate of candy in front of them.
But what I will say about guys is that it is our job to adapt. It is our job to set the tone. So we're in this situation because at some point in time, guys lost the lead. And the media is convincing these women not to get back on our programs. But we do have to still adjust for self-preservation and also to dodge that bullet. So like when I'm dealing with my chick, a lot of times I have to preemptively do things to prevent her nature. Like I know she's going to make this mistake. So I have to ahead of time kind of, pad it because I know she's going to do it anyway. I know it's coming. So what I tell guys, they got to guard their seed. So I'm not letting no single moms off the hook. But at the same time, you got to guard your seed because the woman is irresponsible. If you know the woman is irresponsible, you shoot in her mouth, shoot in her face, do whatever you got to do. Don't take her word for it that she's on the pill. Don't take her word for it that she can't get pregnant. I remember a chick tried to tell me she can't get pregnant.
I'll be honest with you. Almost every girl I've ever slept with, I could have had sex with her without a condom. No girl has ever asked me to put on a condom. Guys, that's your responsibility. You need to put on that condom because most women, I've slept with a good amount of women, not a lot, but definitely a lot.
They never bring it up.
And girls will be the first ones to tell you to either don't say nothing or tell you to take it off. And I'm giving you guys game on that. That's the truth.
They're offended when you wear the condom.
So I'm just being honest with you. From a guy that has experience, girls don't. Some of them, I don't like them. They don't feel they whatever it might be. So it's your responsibility, fellas, to make sure you wrap it up. Don't take it off. If it breaks, change it. Just be smart because you don't want to have a baby with the wrong woman, and then everything goes to crap.
Did I tell you a chick stopped smashing me because of that?
Because of what?
I had an argument with this chick, and she was I think she was Cuban. Pretty sure she was Cuban. So I was messing with this Cuban chick, and she was in the military and all that. Fine as hell. Sex was amazing. And I remember like the fourth time I hooked up with her because we would always, Okeechobee. Yeah, I know you know Okeechobee because you work so close to Okeechobee.
Yeah, I'm right.
Anyway, we got a strip in Miami in Doral. That's Hialeah, actually.
That's close.
It's
right
called
next to
Okeechobee, and the strip just has a bunch of motels where you could get a room for the hour. So, everybody be pulling in there.
A lot of action.
Yeah, the teenagers pulling there because they live with their parents. The married people pulling in because they're cheating.
The
strippers pull in with their clients. So anyhow, I was working in the club. We actually work in the same club now, but on two different sides. So I don't know how the hell the coincidence we ended up being neighbors at work. Because we don't work for the same company. He works for a completely different company than me. We just happen to be in the same building. Anyhow, so back when I was working there, I used to hook up with chicks, and it was girls that put me on the Okeechobee. I didn't know anything about Okeechobee. They told me about the rooms at Okeechobee. So anyhow, fourth time I'm dealing with this chick, and she says to me, she says, "Are you always gonna wear a condom?" I was like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Every time you fuck me, you're gonna wear a condom, Allende?" I was like, I'm trying to figure out well, why would I? What's the point of wearing a condom the first time and then not anymore? So anyhow, my solution to that was always getting tested just to have my paperwork. I didn't get quick tested because I was curious. I knew I was good to go. Because my uncle used to tell me, from you're clean, you have to stay clean. And what that meant to me is, since I know I'm clean, I'm going to flaunt this shit. So what I would do is I would tell girls, yo, you want to with me? You gotta go. You gotta go get tested. Okay, in 4 days, 5 days, or whatever. When you get the results, come holla. And that's what I was doing. I was making girls get tested to fuck with me because I could show them mine. I was like, there goes my paperwork right there. What'd that say? Negative. That's it. Look, what did it say? So anyhow, guys, I know a lot of you guys aren't gonna go through that, or you don't have that type of influence. Because if you say that to a girl, she'll probably be like, screw you. But you do got to be careful out here in these streets, though. All right, next clip.
Yeah, let's go to the next clip.
All right. Yeah, be careful in these streets, guys.
Yeah, man, be safe, man. It's crazy out here.
They got that ninja.
And women carry more STDs than men do.
But a lot of women were offended at me for wearing a condom. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
they found it offensive.
Yeah,
like, how dare you? Are you trying to say I'm dirty?
Right.
I thought I was doing the right
You're
thing.
missing my point. You're literally taking it literally instead of reading in between the lines. If you're an alpha and you are comfortable within yourself and being confident, Why does it matter if you're also with an alpha?
She's fine as hell.
Because those
Or someone who's also strong-minded, contains leader qualities. I'm not done. Contains leader qualities. Is there something funny? What's funny? I want to hear it. What's funny? I just feel like you haven't had a guest like this before, and you're just astonished. I don't know.
I'm not worried, concerned about you.
I never said you were.
You
Is
made
that
me
what I
laugh.
said?
Are you mad?
No, is that what I said though? You
So
just
what-
put words in my mouth.
I just made a little smirk, and then you mad.
I just
Go ahead.
asked you.
Listen, and talking alpha woman.
Yo, she is fine as hell, boy.
I want equal pay. 'Cause
why
it's
is he
like,
doing that?
Why am I going to college? I'm getting A's and B's. And
I
this
know,
nigga
I'm
got
not trying to
C's.
do that.
And
All
he's
right,
making more money than me.
this. Would you rather have a high pro?
I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, yo, that chick is fine as hell, man. When I see chicks like that, I just be like, what a waste. What a waste, man. She's a dude in a fine chick's body.
Yeah.
That chick is masculine as hell. Ugh. All right. Anyway, we'll go to the lady first. Nari, what do you think about these overly masculine women and their retarded logic?
Yeah, I don't, for me, the biggest turn is to be with an assertive man and to be with an alpha male man. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that role. I wouldn't want to disrespect my man and speak to him in that way because, first of all, just culturally we don't do that. I know Cubans are like known to be spicy or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's like we know where we need to respect our men. And for me, like I said, I prefer for my man to stay in the role of a man. I don't need to step in. I don't need to act I don't have that. I have communication, right? Like I'm an adult. I can speak to my man and not have that friction. And if my man were to set me aside and tell me, hey, I think that this and that, I'm gonna listen. And just as if he were to tell me, hey babe, it's raining tonight, I prefer for you not to go out with your girls, I'm gonna stay my ass in. Because at the end of the day, my single friends aren't gonna be the ones that are gonna sleep with me at night when I'm alone and I'm manless,
Or protect you.
Let
or pay your bills.
Let me
or impregnate you.
I do have a relationship where we both pay bills, but nonetheless, like I don't take away from what he does as a man and his role. Just I wouldn't even be sexually attracted to a man that I feel I have to be inferior to because he lacks in certain aspects. If you can't change a fucking light, I'm sorry if I can't curse, but if you can't change a light bulb, do you get what I'm saying? Then I have to step in and change the light bulb for you. Then you're not the man for me. Does that make sense? Like, I have to be.
But why do you feel confident though, being able to do that? Why do you feel confident being able to take his lead and just trust him and follow him?
Because I've been in the position where I've had to be very assertive and I've had to protect myself because I've been in an abusive relationship. So I know what it's like to have to like be sturdy, and I've already experienced that. And that's not a side where I feel like I should be in. I'm very unattracted to that toxicity, and I know I'm confident enough to be able to say that I'm in control in other ways. I'm in control as far as being a woman in general to how I want to be with my man. Like, how do I put it? I'm in control as far as my sexual, sensual side, right? Like, I am the woman for my man. Therefore, I'm in control that way.
Let me just say something real quick. I want people to understand something. If that was a man talking to another man like that, she would have got knocked out. And so I want to be real clear with the ladies and the fellas in the chat and people watching this. Ladies have the benefit of jumping into being a masculine man and getting all tough and acting how she was acting, while simultaneously knowing that the guy can't really get up and do anything about it. And this is the problem with a lot of modern day women, specifically melanated women like that lady there, is like No guy really wants to put up with that. It's not because we can't handle it. It's because we just don't want to deal with it. No guy wants to sit there, especially a guy who has, some balls, some cojones. He's not going to sit there and deal with that. And so for me, even just the way she's talking to her, man, look, I'll tell you like this. If I was in there, I would have probably remained stoic and calm. But if she'd have kept at it, I'd have definitely had to verbally put her in her place. And I like how he snapped back slightly, like, go ahead, you alpha woman. Like, I encourage guys, of course, don't ever put your hands on a woman. If she's not coming at you with a gun or a knife, you stay back. But in that case, if she's verbally getting aggressive like that, you may have to be just kind of how he threw that in there. You got to throw that in, because a lot of times if she's verbally barking at you like that woman was, she already feels like she's stronger than you, better than you. You know what I'm saying? So I always give guys the advice to, obviously you can't just go and pop a woman for acting like that. So what you do is you got to verbally be able to protect yourself. And I just like how he remained calm, but still kind of threw a little verbal jab at her. And that's what you got to do, man. If you sit there and I remember one time I was at a party and some girl was like, and she said something to some guy, like, when I'm talking, you, like, everyone was quiet. And she like looked at one of the dudes, was like, when I'm talking, you shut up, or something like that. And all the guys are looking at him like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? And he just cowered away. And I was like, dude, that was the worst thing you could do.
Well, this is the best thing you can do, because this is what he missed. He missed what's happening right there. All right, so we have like an expression in the islands, right? When somebody's acting up and you say, yo, I'm on smack, right? What that's saying is this person is acting disgruntled because they desire discipline. They want to be put in their place. So when women act like that, yeah, their logic is retarded, but in her explanation of her logic, she's actually telling you what it is that she's trying to do. So it's a lazy strategy. So let me try to sidestep it and correlate the two. Black guys will often hit me up and they'll like black women, right? And they're trying to approach black women. Let's see if Seth has experienced this, right? So there's certain brothers that not only prefer sisters, but they only deal with sisters. So they're not even interested in all the other options they have. It's fine, right? To each his own. And they'll say to me, "Oh, Yende, bro, I'm trying to holler at this chick, and she had an attitude, and she ain't feeling me, and all this other shit." And then I try to holler at this other sister, and same thing. And she got an attitude, she ain't feeling me. I don't understand. And they expect me to, like, give them some type of cheat code or something, right? And I'm trying to explain to them, you're not speaking the same language as her. So what's happening is this woman was not raised by a feminine female that taught her how to attract and interact with men that she's potentially interested in. She also didn't have an example of a father to go off of. So she's like literally trying to get somewhere without a GPS. That's what's happening. So the reason why she's acting that way is a combination of her lack of prep as well as her insecurity. So the insecurity is, I'm less attractive because I'm a black woman. He can't possibly really like me or be interested in me. He only wants to use me for sex. So the way she tries to counter for this assumption is by making herself difficult to deal with, because she wants to see how much effort you're going to put into it. She wants you to convince her that you're really interested by putting up with her bullshit and continuing to try. And most black men, they play along for a while. So, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? What you want? Damn, girl, why you acting like that? Why you got an attitude? I'm saying what you want. Well, I'm bothering you. What you got to say? I'm just saying I'm trying to meet you. You got a man? For what? Why you want to know? So he's taking it as she's not interested, but that's actually not what's happening. She is interested. She's trying to see if you're only interested if it's going to be easy. She's trying to see, does he really like me? Is it really me? Or is it just a piece of ass? You get what I'm trying to say? So you need to immediately defuse it and change the conversation, right? In a healthy way. So in other words, you have to almost teach her how to interact with a man that she could be potentially attracted to, so you can disarm her and get her to put her guard down. Now, me personally, that's way too much work for me. I'd rather just deal with a Dominican chick, a Panamanian chick, a Brazilian chick. I'm sorry. Because they know how to interact with the opposite sex. They know how to figure out if a guy is the right guy. So what I was trying to ask Nareen, but you didn't understand the question, is Why do you feel comfortable following a particular dude? Because this is where a lot of women make the mistake. They say stupid shit like, oh, I'll be submissive for the right guy, or I'll follow him if I agree, and all this conditional nonsense. And what that really is a cover for is it's not so much that you don't trust the man, it's that you don't trust your own judgment because you picked that man. Now, if you could trust your own judgment, once you picked said man, you'd be able to follow him. You see what I mean? Because you're trusting your own judgment. You know how to pick men. So the reason why women put up that stupid resistance is because they don't trust themselves to choose the man in the first place. So even though they're already in a relationship with the guy, it's already the guy they're dealing with, they're still reluctant to follow his lead. They're still reluctant to just shut up and do what he's asking and trust him to make the right decision because they didn't trust themselves to choose the right guy. So it's on men to explain this to women simply because their fathers and mothers didn't. Their fathers and mothers didn't emphasize the choosing process, which is why these women aren't comfortable in their feminine, because they're not comfortable in their ability to choose the right masculine. So you have to let a woman know, baby, this is not your decision to make whether or not you're going to follow me. The decision that you get to make is which guy you follow. Whatever guy that is, you need to follow that guy. You need to play your female role. Just like a guy can't sit there and pick and choose whether he wants to protect a woman. He can't pick and choose whether he wants to treat her right, or pick and choose whether or not he wants to be a gentleman based on her. No, you need to pick the right woman that deserves that type of treatment and protection and provision from you. Once you pick the right chick, you have to, you get what I'm trying to say? You got to go ahead and be the man and do everything that the man is responsible for contributing to the situation. So guys, I want you to understand where these women are coming from, because the problem is they don't have the experience to go about it right. That doesn't mean it's a deal breaker. It's just a little bit more work on your behalf. So a masculine chick like that, that's fine like that, I would have never wrote her off, and I would have never played her stupid game. I would have made her play my game. I would have put her ass back in her feminine. You get what I'm trying to say? I would have chose the right words, the right tone, and I would have got her to get comfortable in the feminine, because that's what her issue is. She's not comfortable in the feminine, so she's challenging guys' masculinity to try to use that as a way to determine his masculinity. Is he strong enough for me? Let me go ahead and act strong and see if he can beat my strong. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say? So you have to go ahead and try a different approach, because if you fall for that game, then you're going to be arguing with a chick. And it's just like he said, at the end of the day, you can't punch her in the face. So you're not going to win that. So you're going to have to charm her, because what she needs is a dude to charm her panties off, turn her back away, pull her hair, and smash her. That's what she needs. She needs her back broke by the right dude. She needs to be buck broken, basically.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the next clip.
Well, Pete might have.
Oh, Pete, did you have anything on
How
this
do you feel
one?
about masculine chicks, Pete?
Yeah. What do you?
Well, when they look good, at least.
I don't deal with them. It's a turnoff.
That's good. Neither do I. If I come across a masculine chick, typically I go the other way. I'm not really interested in most cases. The problem is, the irony is, they think that the guy that they're challenging is weak, but in reality, he just may not want to deal with her.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's weak. And that's the problem with a lot of women, is their perception is that, oh, he can't handle me. No, he just doesn't want to. There's a difference. But she'll write off every guy as he's weak, because he may not want to deal with it. And then she ends up single.
Yeah,
with
but
cats or
that's
dogs.
what I'm saying. Nobody wins in that equation. That's why I'm saying I think it's the guy that needs to welcome the challenge. He needs to make the adjustment to still win the game. I don't think you should just be like, forget it. She's difficult. I'm just going to pass. No, I think she needs to be put in her place, and she needs to learn, because this is what happens. Women are trying to win games that they don't know how to play. That's the problem. They're trying to win a game they don't know how to play. So, for example, if a woman is trying to figure out the strength of a dude's wallet, she might do and say certain things just trying to get the answer to that question. But because she doesn't know how to go about it, she's, number one, offending the dude, right? Number three, she's probably inappropriate. She's coming off like a gold digger. She's fucking it all up, but just because she's trying to answer a simple question. You know what I'm saying? Do you have your shit together? Can you afford to show me the type of experiences that I feel that I'd be interested into or that I deserve? Now, that's a valid question. The problem is she's going about getting the answer the wrong way. And if he succumbs to it, right, and he plays her game, they both lose. But if he knows how to flip it and make her play his game, now they can both win. Because she can find out, okay, he does got his shit together. He can afford to rock with me. Okay, now I can relax and just sit back and have a good time and let him do his thing and impress me. Let him show me these experiences. I can relax, let my guard down and have a good time. And the guy now can get what he's trying to get, you know, with the girl, whether it be an experience, sex, whatever. Now he can get what he wants. So I think that's very important that guys understand that. Take back the lead. Take back the fucking lead. Because if she's trying to say, oh my God, does he have money? So she's ordering the most expensive stuff. Now she's ruining it. Because if you do pay for all that stuff, now you look like a sucker and she can't respect you. So she does get the answer to her question. Oh shit, he does have the money. But because he did what I set him up to do, now I can't respect him. So now game over. See, now she's trying to test his masculinity and he plays her game and he proves, look, I am stronger than you. I am masculine. Well, now he comes off looking as a bully. They just argued and fought, so now they can't get along and have a good time now. See, he played her game, they both lose. But if he flips it and flirts with her and charms her, now she says, okay, he knows how to handle women. Okay, he's stoic. He's a G. I didn't phase him. He's not insecure. He's secure in his masculinity. This is hot. I'm turned on. Everybody's happy. So guys, stop playing their game because they're shitty players. They don't know how to play the game. You have to teach the women how to play the game. And if you yourself don't know how to play the game, everybody's a fucking loser.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I met a girl like that, maybe I'd try. The thing is, I make too much money and I got too much. I'm not going to sit here and deal with that attitude. Like, I would tell that chick simply, like, that would have been bad if I was on that podcast because that wouldn't even happen. But anyway, all right, let's go to the next clip, and we'll continue on. I think this one started a little bit, but hopefully.
Damn, dude, who's this guy? Baba Core Jean Marie, bro. Talking about my mom would like never upset me. Like that never upsetted me in school. Like that's not gonna upset me. And my mom, like she can like fight and handle firearms. She was in law enforcement for over 25 years. So like my mom will bust your ass, bro. But the way that you're talking, you're not gonna smell anybody's armpits. You loser. I'm gonna smell some armpits tonight. I bet you. You're not, loser. Doesn't that suck, bro? You got an armpit fetish and you can't even get like pretty.
Can we just kick this dude out the chat?
No, I'm entertained by him, bro. It's hilarious. Yeah, bro.
I don't think it's
it must
funny.
suck to be you.
All right, let's do it.
Listen, and talking alpha woman.
Oh, I can't wait to.
I want equal pay because it's like, why am I going to college? I'm getting A's and B's, and this nigga got C's.
All right,
and
let me ask you
me.
this: would you rather have a high-profile job for no pay or clean sewers for $100,000 a year?
I would clean sewers if it's more money.
Okay. Do you think most women would choose to do that?
I don't know what most women choose. I'm talking about me.
Okay, no, I get that, but I'm saying I've interviewed hundreds of women, and most women actually would not choose the dangerous, dirty job. Is that possibly why a lot of women get paid less? Why do we have the expression "that's a man's job"?
Because certain things are a man's job. Because it's like, why gotta take the trash out if there's a man in the house?
Right. So I'm just saying.
Lift heavy things.
Well, is it fair to say if you want equal privileges, you need equal responsibilities?
No, I want. Why is responsibility?
Because you gotta take.
Trying to get equal pay.
Because you gotta take the bad with the good.
The extra shit. Why can't I have equal pay?
Don't you have to take the bad with the good?
No, you do not. We should have equality. Period. You see what I mean? You know what I mean?
I have no. I don't.
Yo,
that ending was hilarious. He's like, "No, I don't know what you mean. I don't want you to continue."
with this, they kill me with this suspenseful music.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That was wow.
Sound like I was in like a movie trailer.
That chick, she made the argument for him. Like,
bro, my head hurts after
her
that.
argument. The way it contradicted itself, it made all the points that he was trying to make for him. He literally said, "So what makes you think you can take one without the other?" And she's like, "Yeah, you should be able to choose." And this is not her. I don't want anybody to think like this is this individual. No, this is not this individual. This is the majority of young women today. They really think that they can take one aspect of something without the other aspect that doesn't benefit them. They think I can go out and make my own money, but then when I go out with guys, I still expect them to pay for everything. I can be a modern woman, but still expect guys to be traditional. I can go to work and do less work than the men, but expect to get paid the same. Like, this is blatantly their logic, which is not logic within itself. Why can this logic exist? Because they didn't have the fucking father in their house. That's why. There's a point in time in a young girl's life where her father starts to force logic into her mind. He forces it in there. He doesn't succumb to her feelings. He doesn't let her just go through life thinking that her feelings alter reality. He forces her to accept there is gravity. There are things you can do, things you cannot do. There are things that you want that require you to do something to get those things. This is a father's job. So it's not complicated for me to understand why so many young women think this way, because the father has been subtracted. That's also why so many guys are not aggressive. They're not ambitious. They're not competitive. They're not confident because they didn't have a father to have that conversation when they got to that age where boys start to realize everything is a competition for me. Everything is me against the other guys my age. It's a father that has to give that explanation and say, this is what the world is going to be, my son. Prepare for it now.
Nyreem, do you want to clean sewers? What do you think about that? Would you what kind of jobs would you what do you think of that clip?
No, I think that I hear that often too, where as to women, oh, I'll do, like she started off saying that she would clean sewers, but she can't take out the trash. Like it makes
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
it just doesn't make fucking sense. Um and her saying like, oh, I just want equal pay. Like, why does it have to be the extra shit? It's like, what do you mean? It comes with basic life. I mean, I'm not about that. I'm not about. I know women that say that they would take on the role of having those jobs and those construction jobs, and they'll do it. And I've always wanted to learn how to fix a car. One thing is learning how to just like save your life when you need to change your tire and you have no one around. But there's a fact that you don't feel like doing it as a woman, and if a man can do it for you, you're definitely gonna have the man change your tire. It's just that simple.
Here's
And
here's what would happen. Women would try it. They would get the first day or two, they would give up and quit. Right? They would make up some, my head hurts, I'm on my period, whatever. Like, I'm not saying that women wouldn't go and try to clean sewers, but I'd tell you right now that shit would last for more than 24 to 48 hours. And they would even, if they did though, what I'm saying is hypothetically, let's just say they started doing all these crazy jobs, it wouldn't last long. So you're fighting to be able to do something to say, yay, I did it, I finally did it, and then you're just going to quit. Women, a lot of times they want, it sounds good until you try it. It sounds good until you do it. It sounds good until it's too labor intensive or you got to lift heavy things. They had a thing on, what was it, Home Depot? It was some girl trying to take one of them big boxes off one of them little high, things that they have. She like gets crushed. She's like, no, I got it. She's like a butch,
I got it.
I guess, yeah, like maybe like a person who changed her gender to a guy, I guess. And then she tries to get this box off because she's like, I can do it. And then she realizes really quickly, damn, like this definitely, and she's like crying, and then that the female voice comes out of screaming and crying. So it was messed up. But at the same time, it's like you should have just let a dude go up there and do it. So there are just certain things that guys can do and should do, and women just need to kind of just, hey, you got that, right? And we can step aside for you, for ladies. Hey, no, you got that. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. Pete, what do you think about that clip there?
Yeah, I find it very weird that people think in that type of way. I think of everything in regards to the good and the bad that they were talking about. I think of everything in terms of what's my return? What am I getting out of this? And it's like my analogy would be, you can't like just expect to make $1 million in like whatever 90 days without working 120 hours. It just doesn't work that way. You have to sacrifice to get what you want. And in terms of like jobs specifically, like it's blatantly clear when I look at the world that there's certain things that women don't want to do, and there's things that dudes don't want to do. So it's weird when it's being like forced on people to want something that they're already sort of predisposed to not want to do.
Yeah, I think that we need to really, it's just going to sound really messed up, but I really do think that the comparison that there's kids, there's women, and then there's men, and that women sort of mimic sometimes the children. It's kind of like your little brother or little sister who sees you doing something and she wants to do it, right? Women always mimic that. I want to do that too. I want to do that too, right? But then they finally do it and they realize, shit, I don't want to do this, or maybe this was harder than I thought. And I think that women just want to be able to say that they can do something or even try it and then quit. And it's like this, like I said, little brother, big brother type of situation. So, and on top of that, Pete, I think women don't like taking L's. They don't like losing. They want to win and they want to have the handicap, right? In golf, you give someone 3 strokes, you give them 4 strokes, right? It's basically, I'm going to give you 4 shots ahead of me before we start. We're going to start this race, but I'm going to let you start 20 feet ahead. Women always want to have this, this head start on men. And then when you call them out for it, they act just like that girl was doing. Why do I have to? I shouldn't have to, right? She's like, I should just get equal pay. I should just get equal. That's not how it works. If you want to be with the guys, you got to work like the guys work, right? If you want to be in that major where it's guy centric and technology or whatever it is, you might get picked on. Guys jag at each other, right? You want to be in the NBA and you're in that locker room. They finally let the first trans person in the NBA, hey, or woman in the NBA. Guess what? You're in a guy. That's what it is. You can't just be complaining about it, right? That's what it is. So we can't change things that are natural, and we can't change things to accommodate women all the time. And they're not always going to win. Sometimes they're going to take L's. They hate taking L's, of course.
The problem is with that kind of stuff. The problem is with that type of shit is it has too many degrees. So there's the degree that's like you can ignore it. So on the lightest level, the lightest degree, the probably the most harmless degree is the amount of effort, the amount of dedication, the amount of responsibility, and the amount of integrity that a woman might bring to a certain job position. And a lot of that is kind of choice. So there are some women who they're going to choose to work just as hard as any of the other guys will work. Sometimes even work harder because they're trying so hard to prove themselves that, no, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I'm going to fall behind, doesn't mean I'm going to be incompetent. So that's like the harmless level of it, is that she might not be working as hard. She might not take it as seriously. She might not have as much integrity. So what happens is she's kind of like getting paid the same, but majority of her coworkers are picking up the slack, and those are male coworkers. Now, this is the one you see most often. And I'm always paying attention. I'm always observing these type of things. So you walk into Best Buy, and you're trying to pick out a certain camera, and you're talking to the chick, and she doesn't know shit about shit. So she ends up having to go get a male tech guy that works there who can answer your questions. And then you're sitting there looking at it like, hold on, so you guys are getting paid the same, but he's more familiar with the products that you sell than she is. So what's the point? If she has to go and get him, then what was the point of her being here? It might as well just been him, right? So that's what you see most commonly, is that the woman is not even as familiar with whatever the hell the job is and ends up having to go get assistance from a male coworker that has the same status as her. She's not going to someone higher than her. She's literally going to someone the same status as her, been on the job the same amount of time as her. Okay? That's a harmless level. Now let's go to the maximum, the other end of the spectrum, and that's when it's dangerous, right? So I'm gonna give you a couple examples of that. Like I was mentioning to this freakazoid here who's smelling no armpits anytime soon, except for his own. My mom, like I mentioned, was in law enforcement for like 30 years before she retired, right? But my mom knew to stay her ass in a certain position in the police department. She knew to stay in the office. She knew to stay in the car, stay on the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Stay on the toll bridge and stuff like that. Not go out there and actually have to interact with the dangerous aspects of it. And this was her reason. Her reason wasn't her own safety and all of that. It was that she knew she couldn't run as fast as her male counterparts, and she knew she wasn't as strong. And what she didn't want to happen is she be in a situation where one of her partners are counting on her and they get hurt or killed because she wasn't physically able. So that's the dangerous side of the spectrum, is when it's not about her work ethic. It's not about how hard she works. It's not about how much she studied it. It's not about her integrity. It's just simply her physical makeup is inadequate. So if you're a firefighter and you can't pull your partner out of that burning building, now your partner dies. And now his wife is going to be looking at you like, why did they pair him up with a bitch? Why did they pair him up with a bitch that's 140 pounds instead of with another 200 plus pound man? Why did they pair him up with a female cop? You see what I mean? That couldn't subdue the perp. And now the perp was able to get to her gun and shoot her partner. So now her partner is killed with her own gun because she couldn't fight him off from taking her firearm. She wasn't physically strong enough. So now I'm going to finish this point out with an anecdotal story that I had to witness, and it broke my heart, bro. I had to sit here and watch a man get killed. So I went to jail. He knows why. I didn't do it, guys. So talk whatever shit you want to walk. It happens to black guys with dreads and tats. It happens sometimes. So anyhow, I went to jail for some shit I didn't do. Spoke to all my cop friends before I went, before I turned myself in. They were like, bro, just go get it taken care of. You don't want them to have to come and get you. You didn't do it, so you're going to be in and out. Once you go in front of the judge, she's going to see what's up. She's going to drop it. That's what ended up happening. But when I was in that holding tank, when I was in the intake, there was this Latin officer, female, small, dyke, shaved head, right? Shaved head, lesbian chick. And she, I swear to God, I swear for God, she was about 135 pounds. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm good at guessing weight. She's about 135 pounds, maybe 37. Okay. And she comes up to this dude. Oh, mind you, height. She was about 5'5". So just try to keep these measurements in mind, guys. About 5'5", under 140 pounds. She approaches this black inmate who's about 6'2", about 205 pounds. So he's a skinny dude, but he was tall. He's sitting there minding his business. She stepped in front of him and she said, get up. He's like, yo, why you, like, why? She said, get up. I tell you to get up. He's like, yeah, but why you got to talk to me like that? And why you grabbing me like that? And she's like, I told you to get up. So then she grabs him again. She tries to pull him up and nothing happens. So she was more upset. Her ego was bruised because she literally couldn't move this man. She used all her force and he went like this. There was no movement. Mind you, if it was a grown man, if it was any of the other male officers, they would have been able to lift Buddy up out of that seat. More importantly, they wouldn't have needed to. They wouldn't have had to have dealt with him inappropriately and forcefully. They could have simply said, hey, you get up. And he would have got up. That's simple. And his point was, why didn't you just ask me to get up? Why did you have to get in my face and put your hands on me? This dude did not touch her. He was not reacting to her physically. He was just simply verbally saying, not even disrespectfully. He was just verbally saying, why are you talking to me like that? Why are you dealing with me like that? Now, this is taking like time. It's taking seconds or whatever, them having this actual discussion. By that time, another officer noticed something was going on. He couldn't hear anything. He wasn't earshot of what was going on. So he had no idea what was being said. He didn't see the previous interaction. He just assumed that this dude was disobeying a direct order. So he went over there with all the might of Thor. Now, this gets really interesting. I know how big this guy was because he was the dude that passed me my orange scrubs. He's the dude that passed me my uniform. So when I took off my clothes and he saw my physique, he said, yo, bro, about how much you weigh, man? What you about 230? I was like, nah, man, I'm about 217. He's like, okay, you big, man, you big. I was like, yeah, I bodybuild. He's like, okay, so yeah, I used to bodybuild too, man. So yeah, man, I'm like, how much you weigh? I'm like, what you about 135, 140? He's like, nah, man, I'm 150. I'm 150, almost 160, man. I was like, damn, bro, you big. He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, how tall are you? He's like, man, I'm 6'2", man, 6'2" and a little bit. No, almost 6'3", man. I was like, okay. He's like, you looking good though, man. You looking good, man. I read your paperwork, man. Some bullshit. You're gonna be out of here in no time, buddy. I was like, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So I know how big this motherfucker was because he just finished telling me his stats. That's the motherfucker that went over there and grabbed him up out of his fucking seat after she had him like this trying to get him up. So he doesn't know what's going on. He's just backing up his coworker or whatever. So they pick Buddy up out that goddamn seat, right? And then she puts her hands on him too and starts like helping as if we needed little you too to like help him. But she's, ego. It's all ego. So he says, yo, why y'all dealing with me like this? So now she gets turned up. She gets amped up, right? So now she goes in on him, and just him doing this, she tried to pull. And you know how you try to pull something and you like lose your grip and you just fall back?
Mm-hmm.
She fell. But my point is, she made herself fall. He didn't push her or anything like that. She tried to grab him and went like that. And she fell. Once she fell, another officer, 6'4". This dude was skinny, but still 6'4". He rushes over, grabs the dude. They pick him up together, drop him. The dude just like got up, not got up, stood up, but he just brought his waist up off the ground. Bang, bang, bang. I'm hearing it. Crack, crack, crack. And I'm on the phone with SB. Am I lying about this?
Nah, he's telling us.
Because I was on the phone with him when it was happening.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, they fucking buddy up right now. He can hear the punches through the phone. Right? So dude is cracking him like that. I just see blood. I'm like, nah. So now he's like this, he like linguine, right? He just like spaghetti. He just, his body's like this, right? They picked him up. I don't know how they got Butterfingers with him, but they dropped him. It didn't even look intentional. They dropped him. He fell on his head, cracked his head open, pool of blood on the floor. So now they got to come and pick this dude up like a surfboard. They carried his ass out unconscious, dripping. A puddle of blood on the floor. Right? Now they had to lock down the whole damn block so that all the officers now can write this paperwork up, and they're going to write it up as if he was resisting or did some type of violence. They're going to write it up to justify what they did to him. Buddy ended up dying in a coma. He ended up dying. None of those officers are going to catch a manslaughter charge. Now, this is a true motherfucking story. So when they finally was moving me to a cell, guess who came to move me? Come to find out, that little dyke bitch, she has authority. That little dyke, she had authority over all the other officers. She was a superior officer. She ran that whole damn block. Mm-hmm. So now when she's taking me to the shit, the first thing she did was loosen up my handcuffs. She was like, She's like, hold on, big man, this is too tight for you. Right? And it's like all digging into my skin and whatnot, but I'm not complaining. Shit, I ain't gonna try and get my head cracked. So she loosened the shit up for me, and she was like, don't even worry about it. I'm like, don't even worry about it. So she got an extra pair of cuffs. I don't know why the officers were so, nice to me, but they kept getting extra cuffs for me so that I didn't have to, you know what I mean? I could distance it or whatever, right? So she's talking to me now. So she says to me, yeah, man, damn, you big. She was like, man, we could use somebody like you. I was like, what you mean? She was like, man, you need to fill out an application. She was like, we could use somebody with your size in here. Mind you, I'm not shocked at what she's saying. I'm shocked at her tone and her temperament. It was all fun and games, bro. Mm-hmm. They just killed a man. Over this chick. And she was joking and chucking and jiving with me like it was all good. And she's like, yeah, I read your paperwork. I'm like, why the fuck is everybody so interested in my paperwork? And she's like, yeah, man, this bullshit happens to all of us. She was like, it even happens to the officers. I'm like, huh? Y'all get called on some domestic violence shit too? And she's like, yeah, man, I read your shit, man. You ain't even put no hands on her. I was like, I don't hit women. She's like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. This shit gonna get thrown out, man. She's like, then you should come fill out that application. And I'm just like, damn. So basically she's saying I need another big guy like you to come and overreact to my poor judgment. She's the supervisor, guys. Mm-hmm. And she had that poor judgment. And because her lack of presence wasn't enough to be respected by the inmates, they had to use overly, what's the word? Obsessive force? What the fuck is the word?
It's obsessive force, I think.
Right, because I'm watching how the male officers deal with all the inmates, bro. Nobody has to go outside the lines when it's male dealing with male. But once it's a female involved, they take it up a notch.
Right.
You see what I mean? They take it up a notch. So all I'm saying is that's the other end of the spectrum when it gets dangerous, us putting women in positions that they're not suited for physically, let alone mentally or emotionally. So all I'm saying is if you're a cop, if you're a soldier, if you're in the military, whatever, you're not going to want a female next to you because it's not the movies when somehow she knows karate and has super spy abilities. No, it's probably not going to be likely that she can do all of that ninja shit. She's not Black Widow. So all I'm saying is in real life practicality, you want to be able to count on the man to your left or right. Female?
Right.
I don't know, bro.
All right, I think we got another clip, right?
I'm still thinking about that dude, bro. That dude died, bro. That dude had a mom. That dude he might have had kids.
I didn't even know he died.
And I'm thinking that could have been me.
Well, here's the problem with that is that, guys, you got to pay attention because like he said, if a woman's in position of power and a man sees her in distress, he's going for the kill shot.
Yep.
So those dudes were, maybe they weren't meaning to kill him, but they were
backing
definitely
her
meaning to
up.
hurt him.
Yeah, they were backing her up.
So if had it been another man, they probably wouldn't have whooped him as bad because
they wouldn't have even intervened, bro.
Right. It had just been a one-on-one, or maybe they'd have helped him, but it wouldn't have been 3 people cracking him or her helping, right? So the woman being in the middle of that, the key is that she's the damsel, even though she's the manager.
Yeah, which
she's
is
still
weird,
the damsel.
even though she's
she
a
becomes,
dyke.
Right.
Like,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
She bit off more than she could chew.
And that's the benefit of that women get, even when they're gay or whatever, is that they still are a woman, and men still will protect them.
That ego, bro. That chick, she has such an ego.
So I think we have another clip. I don't know how many clips we have in this. But...
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna run one more, guys, and then we're gonna get out of here because I gotta smell some armpits. So
me too.
For real, man.
All right, guys, we're gonna run this last clip.
Obsessive force. Thank you. That's what it is. Obsessive force. And also, I want to shout out to Nick Doctor. He said that he grew up in a fatherless household, but he had to instill positive values into himself. And like, I'm always an advocate for that, guys. If you like this is the thing, bro. I hate when guys tell me like, oh, I didn't have a dad, I didn't have a pops or whatever. Bro, that's not an excuse, man, because you're cognizant of it. You're cognizant of it. So find a coach. If you don't know how to fight, why are you not going in a dojo? Why are you not going to a boxing gym? Why are you not going somewhere and seeking out a professional that you could pay them to teach you how to fight? When I was young, dudes that wanted to be barbers and they didn't have someone to teach them, they would offer to sweep up the barbershop in exchange for barber lessons. I was apprentice before. I was a damn intern at Interscope Records, bro, because I thought I gave a shit about the music industry until I found out how they really operate. The point I'm trying to make is that you can work in exchange of value. You can say, okay, who's a guy? My grandfather became a carpenter, but he was an apprentice first. He rode his bike for 14 miles a day, 7 miles in both directions, to go be an apprentice to a carpenter so that he could learn how to be a carpenter, because he didn't have his dad. He didn't have a father to teach him a skill, but he knew he was going to need a trade. So what did he do? He found a man that was a professional at something, and he offered his labor in exchange for knowledge to learn. So all I'm saying, guys, is you have to take matters into your own hands. Stop making excuses of what you didn't have in life that you weren't fortunate enough to get. If you got your pops in your life and he's a punk, and you know he's a punk, you know he's weak, go find a strong man that coaches something, and let that person be your mentor. Let that person be your coach. No hard feelings, Dad. But you got to learn the skill sets that you want to feel comfortable in your masculinity. If you can't fix shit, learn to fix shit. If you can't build shit, learn to build shit. You can't fight, learn to fight. You can't fuck, learn to fuck. I mean, stop making excuses, guys. That's all I'm saying. So I appreciate that comment that he made. He had to go and instill those values himself.
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna run one more clip and then we're gonna get out of here. What's today? Monday?
Yeah, it is.
Do we got to stream? Damn, we got to stream tomorrow. We got to stream tomorrow, guys.
Unless
So tomorrow we'll be back again. Definitely fashionably late, but hopefully on time. But 9 p.m. guys tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's a little nicer here again. If you guys tuned in a little later, we have some tropical storms here in Miami, so it's flooding like crazy. The water's probably 3-4 feet high. So unless you have an SUV, you can't really drive. All right, let's run this last clip. And shout out to Pete, man. Appreciate you for sticking around with us, brother. All right, let's run it. And also, guys, we did. If you're just popping in, mentuitionacademy.com. You guys can go there to go straight to the YouTube page. We're streaming on Authentic Alphas. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and then go to mentuitionacademy.com and subscribe to the YouTube page there.
Now, I don't want you to keep go.
Okay.
She said she had to cook
different than women, because when a guy comes into
And I don't want you to keep going.
So you're saying that you wouldn't be with a single mother that's a millionaire?
it wouldn't be my first option, no. If I wanted to have a family and children,
You said a millionaire wouldn't want to be with a single mother that's a millionaire.
if he can go ahead and get a girl that doesn't have a child, he'll prefer that, yes. Men are very different than women, because when a guy comes into a woman's relationship, or a relationship with a woman and she has a child, he's going to be expected to take care of that child to a degree. That's just how it is. You don't just get with that girl, you get with that girl and that child. And here's the other thing you got to remember. If we break up and I build a bond with that child, I now lose you and the child, and I can't have any type of parental rights to that child. It's your biological child, not mine. I'm a stepfather, so I have no rights to that child. So I lose you, the child, alimony, house, 50%. So it's an L for me. It's not worth the risk.
I'm gonna step up.
Yeah, shout out to whoever the hell edited that clip. Good Lord, that was some good editing. And shout out to Myron, bro, because he made that pretty bitch cry with the gentle truth. That was the polite savage. I guess I don't know. Is that the new Myron now? Because I'm familiar with the rookie Myron. So he is definitely getting better at how he handles them, because he didn't come off like he was misogynist. He didn't come off like he was bitter or who hurt you or any of that.
Right.
He just said, hey, well, if the dude has a choice, he's gonna go with the chick with no kids.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you guys this. I said it in previous streams that you can do what you want, fellas. If you want to date women that have kids, have at it. You know, that's your choice. But what I would say is exactly what Myron says. There's a lot of risk, much more risk. We already know marriage is a huge risk anyway. And so if you're dealing with a woman with a kid and you want to get married or you want to have more kids, you just have to understand that there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of responsibility. Her kid comes first. He says that. He didn't say that there, but her kid comes first, meaning if you guys are in Tulum on vacation and little Johnny gets, really, really sick or something, she's catching that first flight back.
And you got to pay for it. You're expected to pay for it.
Right. Your Tulum trip is ruined. Doesn't matter what y'all were doing. It's over. What I say is, I told y'all in a couple streams ago, a couple classes ago, there are some baddies here that have 2 or 3 kids. You wouldn't know they got work done or they just work out. But for me, even my ex had a son, but she was on a very short string. I didn't allow her to talk, which I wouldn't allow a woman to talk to me any old way anyway, but she would try things and I'm like, look, right? Nope, don't do that. You can't do that. So I think a lot of you guys that are dating women that have kids, like I said, have at it. I don't make fun of that. This isn't the channel where we go, yeah, man, you a simp.
I've had great experiences with single moms.
Right.
I'm sorry, bro.
But what I will say is, for me personally, I'm not taking, like, you can't be.
I think it's more about you than it is about her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal experience.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody, but I'm better than most motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I'm not. It sound arrogant or whatever the fuck I want, but I hear. Okay. Long before YouTube, I was listening to dudes. I grew up in the barbershop, bro. I played sports. Like I was always listening to guys and their experience and their stories. I'm like, not me. I'm going to see a single mom tonight, and she's going to be cooking for me. Yeah. I'm not even eating up the kids' snacks because she's buying me snacks in particular. She's not. I don't have to eat his Lunchables and his Gushers and shit because she's asking me what I want. She goes grocery shopping. She asks what I want too. And if she has food stamps, she's using her food stamps to buy me food too. So I'm sure her kids are her priority, but I'm up there too, buddy. And I did the whole stepdaddy thing. So I've dealt with single moms on both ends of the spectrum, just smashing, using them for recreational purposes only, like how you guys say so disrespectfully. I'm using them for recreational purposes, but respectfully. You know what I'm saying? I'm still treating them like a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? I'm still being considerate. I'm still stopping at Walmart or whatever and getting a little action figure for the kid if need be. I'm interacting with their children with no problem because I know how to create the boundaries. See, this is the thing. I keep telling you guys, I'm not from the school of blaming on women because I'm on the school of dominate women and lead the women and the women on my program. So if a chick is a single mom and she's dealing with me for any length of time, before I even meet the children, her parenting style is gradually changing due to my influence. Because I'm going to talk to her about her children because I know that that's a priority to her. So I know it's going to be a fast way to get to her panties. And the more comfortable a woman is and the more value she feels she's receiving from a guy is the better the sex is going to be. Oh, wow. Nobody's ever told you that before, guys? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. The more masculine value that you add to a woman's life is the more feminine energy she's going to give you. So the more you're like fixing things around the house, giving her solutions to her problems so that she can go and implement it. So you're working behind the scenes. Problem solving isn't always you having to actually solve the problem for her. Sometimes it's just listening to her and then saying, hey, baby, this is what you should do. Go in there tomorrow. Say this, do this, and I'll be taken care of. Or you know what, baby, don't worry about it. Let me make a phone call for you. I'll let him know the situation. I'll have him contact you and then you two can work it out. So when you're adding that type of value to a woman's life, she's naturally going to want to like give back to you because she wants to keep you around. because you're making things better. So I've made women's situation with their children better from a distance before I've even met the children. And then when I do meet the children, I control the terms. That's the thing. So guys are sitting there saying, "Oh man, she bringing random dudes around her kid, and she trying to make me meet her child, and she did it." That's y'all dudes who let women do things. Y'all let women make decisions and shit. I don't do that, right? I'm the one that's going to dictate when and how I meet the children, so I'll control it. So the kids won't be confused. They won't be like, "Who's this dude? What's he doing with my mom?" Because I'm gonna create the pretense in which they meet me under. Like, oh, he's mommy's friend, and da 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 da. They're not even gonna connect the dots, bro. I'm not gonna let the kids see no romantic shit. Right? I'm not going to let the kids see me over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, hey, come here and we'll do this and you can bring the kids and they can have a good time. And then afterwards, you know what I'm saying? I'll say, hey guys, I'll see you guys later. You guys had a good time. All right, bye, whatever her name is. I'm not going to show that affection in front of the kids. I'm not going to be kissing her in her mouth and doing all that. So the kids are really going to be under the pretense that this is just platonic friendship. Mm-hmm. But then later when those kids go to bed or the sitter comes over or whatever, that's when I'm going to tear mommy's ass up. So they're not going to connect the two is what I'm trying to say until I'm ready for that. The other extreme is doing the whole stepdaddy thing, which I have done. And that went phenomenal for me. The issue wasn't the kids, bro. I was in love with the kids. I was in love with the dogs. We started breeding dogs. I was in love with all the dogs I had. The house was awesome. The lifestyle was amazing. We had 3 vehicles. I had my Challenger. We had the BMW 750. We had the big Yukon Denali. We had the acres. Life was good, man. Fridge was always full, doing whole family activities, taking the girls to cheerleading. It was amazing. The issue is that the woman was aging out on me. That was the issue, guys. She hit the wall. Right, what? So that was the issue. It wasn't the kids. So, and I was allowed to parent. I shouldn't say allowed. I was the one that determined the rules, right? I set the rules in the house. I disciplined the children. So all I'm trying to say with that whole single mom stuff is don't get involved with it unless you're equipped to deal with it. Just like strippers. Don't date strippers unless you're equipped to deal with strippers.
I'll say this real quick, guys. Over here on Mentuition, we're based. We use our head, right? And so you're going to get a lot of other podcasts where they're just recycling and regurgitating the same things. No offense to Myron, but they hit you with the facts. He's very good at what he does now. He's a lot better. We talked about that earlier. But he'll hit you with whatever his facts are, whatever he thinks is. But what I'm getting at is this, guys. We're gonna give you a different perspective on Mentuition. He's dated women that have had kids. His experience was good. We're not gonna just say don't date in recreational use. We understand that. Look, we're realists, right? These guys, these other podcasts claim to be realists, but they're not, right? They're not realists. Realists would say there are guys out there that are going to end up dating a single mom, or there are guys out there that are going to deal with women in this way. So we're going to give you guys advice because we both have a lot of experience based on what you should and shouldn't do in that scenario.
And it's not always the woman's fault.
You get what I'm saying? So guys, we're not, ha ha ha, kiki. It's funny. Women that have kids are for recreational use, ha ha ha. But let's be honest, man. A lot of guys that are sitting there talking that shit, saying that, are the guys that are doing it. So we can tell you how to live with a woman. If you're living with, we won't say don't. I mean, Myron has this thing: don't live with a woman unless whatever he says. But I
got a video on that, guys.
We got a
video. It's called "How to Cohabitate with Women."
Yeah. So if you guys want to do it, even Alpha Male Strategies, he started with "F these hoes to sleep," blah 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 blah, and now he's like, "This one for my purple pill guys today." I know you got. So he realizes
that's just how you talk to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alpha Male Strategies.
And he realized, like, you know what? This is not me, but I can still give advice on this because I did live with a woman and I was this guy and I did like certain aspects of it.
With one woman, I've lived with 2 women.
Yeah. So
there's a way to do it and there's a way to do it safely. If you go watch that video, you'll be surprised at the information I give. It's not going to be what you think. And nobody in the space has ever given the advice that I've given in that video. No one else has given you such a practical approach to it that keeps you as the man safe and keeps you in power and in charge. Go watch the damn video. I ain't gonna tell you now. It's called How to Cohabitate with Women. It's on my channel, Authentic Alphas. And one more thing I want to throw in there that is just being realistic that I think people are missing is that when people ask me, right, like, oh, you don't have children? I'm like, nah, I ain't got no kids. And they're like, you sure? They're acting like I'm hiding children, like I'm lying about it. Then I have to explain to them, do you want to have an argument over semantics? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, when you say, do you have children? I can look at that as ownership. Are you asking me if I personally have children, if I own any children? And they're like, oh, I guess you can say that. Well, then let me enlighten you. You know why that's a dumbass question to me? Because men in the West can't have children. Right? Now let me explain. Before I explain how men in the West cannot even have fucking children in the first place, I'm also going to show you how it's actually better to deal with women that have kids already sometimes. Because what was Myron's reasoning for why that's a big risk for a guy, right? Is because you're going to end up providing for these children. You're going to end up having an attachment to these children and loving these children. And, you know, you're going to feel like it's your own children. And then, oh, if you leave the woman, she's going to take those kids. You have no right to those kids, right? So a lot of guys, their reasoning is, oh, well, I don't want to sit here and help her out with her kids because they're not my kids and she'll take them. And then I'll be heartbroken that I lost these kids because they were never mine to begin with. Your kids wouldn't be yours to begin with. Think about it, dumbass. If they were your fucking kids, your biological kids, she could still take them when she leaves.
Yeah, that's right.
Why is nobody having this conversation, making that fucking connection? You're really acting as if you deal with a single mom, those aren't really your kids. You could lose them. Dick face. If they were your fucking kids, you'd still lose them the same goddamn way. The difference is your ass would be on the hook for the child support.
Right.
That's the difference, is that your resources would be garnished automatically. Whereas if they're not your kids, it depends on if you actually married her. It depends on how long you actually lived with her before they can put that responsibility on you. Because they actually still can. If you married her, they'll put that responsibility on you. You divorce her, now you're still paying child support for kids that aren't biologically yours. So all I'm saying is that right there is not a good fucking argument for it when you put it into perspective and realize, wait a minute, they're not my kids either way. Either way. And if she steps out on you and gets pregnant by someone else and puts your name on the birth certificate, look, now it's the same. Now it's both of those things combined. They're not your biological children, but you are on the hook for the child support. Oh God, what just happened?
Guys, what we want you guys to understand in the chat is that you got to stop taking the bad deal from women. It's not that you're dating a single mom. It's that you're dating a single mom and she's like you're at the disadvantage and you're agreeing to something and you're not getting anything in return. So if you want to deal with a single mom, go ahead. Have at it, right? Just do what you want, but don't take the bad deal. We got to start stressing that to the guys is that if you're in these particular situations, living with a woman, whatever it is, just don't take the bad deal. Meaning if you're living with a woman and she's out till whatever, going out on these girls' nights, right? You got to set some ground rules and make sure that you're getting you're not getting the short end of the stick all the time. There's so many guys just getting
hurt. Okay, this is the thing, guys.
Crushed.
People's character don't change overnight. So the point is that like, this space is teaching guys to get caught up in labels. Stop getting caught up in labels. It doesn't matter if she's a single mom. It doesn't matter if she's a modern woman. It doesn't matter if she's a college girl. It doesn't matter if she's a career woman. It doesn't matter if she's a boss babe, blah, blah, blah. She's a woman. She's still a female. So the point is, when you're interacting with these females, you are supposed to be in a certain position. She's supposed to be in a certain position, regardless of how tall you are, regardless of how much money you make, regardless of where you work. You're still supposed to be in the man role, motherfucker. Your label don't matter. Your color don't matter. Your height don't matter. Your age don't matter. You're still supposed to be in the man role. And she's supposed to be in the female role, regardless as if she has her own job or she owns her own car or she has kids or she don't have kids. So the point I'm trying to make is, if I'm living with a woman, she's my woman regardless. If she's a woman that has kids, she's my woman regardless. So I'm already going to have this particular type of influence on her. So what I'm trying to say is that's where the magic happens. So if you have influence over a woman with kids, it should be the same as the influence you have over a woman without kids. So if you're saying, I want you to do this, she should be doing that regardless of her job title, how much money she makes, how big her booty is, whether or not she has implants, whether or not she has an OnlyFans, or whether or not she has kids. You guys keep on trying to use these labels as a cope. The problem is you don't have the influence over her you're supposed to have. How I used to phrase this a year ago was, you're not that dude. That's how I used to phrase it before. Like, it's not about this, that, and all these other variables. It's just simply, are you that dude or not? Because if you're that dude, this chick is going to be doing things your way, whether she's a bank teller or she's a porn star. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I've dated girls that do adult films, and they're doing the same as she would if she was a chick that worked at Foot Locker. I have the same type of dynamic with them. So to me, none of those things ever made a difference, because in my mind, I'm Allende. I'm that dude. She's a female. She's about to be mine. All those other variables never mattered to me. So that's why, like, oh, don't date single moms. I never really kind of crossed my mind because I was like, yo, I'm finna do what I'm gonna do regardless if she has kids or not.
Mhm.
So if I'm telling her, hey, get a sitter on Thursday, she's gonna get a sitter on Thursday. If she doesn't have kids, but she has her business or something, I'll be like, yo, get your assistant to do it on Thursday.
Mhm.
Either way, she's doing what the fuck I tell her to do. And she wouldn't be a chick I would deal with if I couldn't have that type of influence over her. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't understand how you would be living with a chick and then she's going out with her friends. I'm like, wait, when did that start happening? So was she not that same person before you started living with her? So if you didn't have that type of influence over her and she was the type of chick that want to go do that, then why'd you move in with her? That's the part
Right.
that I don't understand.
Right.
We got a super chat in here actually before we get up out of here.
Jay Velez.
You can see right there. Jay Velez, he says,
great podcast today, guys.
Oh man,
appreciate it,
you.
man. Yeah, we I told you, man, we're gonna give you guys some more game and we'll have more base conversations. Obviously, we're gonna get the soundboard and sound effects, and like I said, there's gonna be some funny points, of course, but you know, we want to give you guys some real game, man. I think a lot of the space out now is just like a lot of spitting facts or regurgitating the same thing. So we want to give you guys a different perspective, man, because we know there's guys out here that don't really align with certain viewpoints and ideologies, man. And
focus on being that dude more than anything else. You guys are worried about avoiding certain type of women and don't do this and don't live with women and don't do that. And bro, the first and foremost thing you need to do is become that dude. That's the first thing you need to do. So for example, and I've heard, this is something I have heard other content creators say, like, oh, if you're a lame in America, you're going to be a lame with a passport somewhere else. And that's true. That's true. If you're a simp here, you're going to be a simp over there. If you're a sucker here, you're going to be a sucker over there. If you're unattractive here, you're going to be unattractive over there. That's facts. That's why when these women be talking about, oh, you're just going to these other countries to take advantage of poor women. You're going to these other countries because the women here don't want you. I'm like, that don't apply to me, bitch. Because I get women's here. I get women's there.
I get women here too.
Right. I get women in third world countries. I get women in first world countries, developed countries. So that's neither here nor there to me, because I first focused on becoming that dude for the first 20 something years of my life. The first 25 years of my life, I spent becoming that dude. That's why when people just say stupid shit to me, like, oh, you just acting like that because you're big. I'm like, bitch, you should have seen me when I was skinny. The fuck is you talking about? I didn't become someone different because I got big, faggot. I got big because I wanted to get big. So now my size matches my ego. Okay? So let's understand that. When I was a much bigger problem when I was a skinny dude, because I was going to get it any means necessary. I was going to overcompensate for the fact that I was skinny. You didn't want that. I'm a lot more laid back. You know what I'm saying? Less aggressive now that I'm bigger and I make more money. When I wasn't making money and I was skinny, I was hungry, right? Hungry and aggressive. So what I'm saying is become that dude. Stop looking at guys and saying, well, that's because he's lucky, or that's because he has this or he has that. Why don't you stop and think, maybe he didn't always have that. Maybe he had to do something to get that. So when you see somebody that's the dude, know that he probably had to like become that dude. Nobody's born that dude. I can promise you that. Nobody's born that dude. Some people get it younger than others, because I have seen little kids with so much goddamn swag. You're like, yo, why is this little nigga got so much swag? But anyhow, guys, become that dude. Hone your skills. When you see those movies and that dude is fucking everybody up, what's the dude from Taken?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he tell you in the beginning of the movie? He said, look, I have a particular skill set that I've developed over a long period of time. What he's saying to those people is, listen, I spent my whole life becoming a weapon. You don't want that weapon to turn on you. Mm-hmm. Right? So anytime you see somebody that's great at something, they put time and effort into becoming that, and now they're reaping the benefits of being that dude. So stop sitting around whining and blaming somebody, because that's what the women are doing. The women aren't getting what they want, and they're sitting around blaming people for it. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of misogyny. It's because of sexism. It's because all men only want one thing. It's because these men are afraid of commitment. No, bitch, it's because they don't want to commit to you because it's not worth it. So what they should have been doing, developing that value that a guy would commit to. You see what I'm trying to say? They weren't spending time becoming a wife. Now they're complaining that nobody wants to marry them and blaming the guys for not wanting to commit. But that same dude in a minute is about to commit to some little shawty that was raised to be a wife.
Right.
So what I'm saying is you have to raise yourself to be that dude, so that now you can control situations with other people, whether they be networking with other guys, working with other men, building something with other guys, or having relationships with women. You will be in control of the dynamic, because a lot of guys, your problem is you're entering these situations with women and you're letting women act out. You're letting women make the decisions. You're making women lead. You're letting women set the tone. You're letting women decide the dynamic. You're letting women decide when you have sex. How many of you guys have actually had a chick all hot and bothered and ready, put it in, be like, you know what? I don't want to do this right now. We'll do this another time. Yeah. How many guys have taken the sexual power from her and now you become the one that decides when and where you guys hook up? None of yous. How many of you guys did what I mentioned earlier, which was make her go get tested and come bring you the papers? None of yous. How many of y'all made women go work for the dick? None of yous. None of yous. Right? And these are things that other guys had to tell me at some point and change my perspective. I remember the first time I went to Houston to go visit my cousins as an adult. So I used to go see them every summer, because when my pops got murdered, my uncle was who was like financing me. You know what I'm saying? So every summer I would go stay with my cousins and my uncle and my aunt in Houston, and they ran things. My uncle had 10 kids by the same woman. So I had a bunch of cousins, and all the boys were older than me. There was only one boy that was younger than me. The other 3 boys were older than me, so they were constantly beating my ass up. This is why I don't give a shit about somebody's size or getting jumped or any of that, because my cousins, they whooped me more than anybody could ever whoop me. And the first time I went to visit them as adults, I was over here trying to deal with chicks, trying to do what I could do. And my cousin pulled me to the side. He's like, yo, he's like, why you keep looking for chicks that got something? Why stop looking for chicks that got something and get these chicks and make them work for you? And I'm like, what you mean? My cousin's like, when I meet a chick, the first thing I let her know is that the pussy is obsolete. Wait, what? He's like, yeah, it's the first thing I do is let her know I don't give a damn about her pussy. I'm like, really? He's like, I take her out, show her a good time, let her know who I am, take her around town, let her see my status, let her see who I know, how much power and control I got in the city. And then I just drop her ass off. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't try to smash. I don't try to hit it. I don't try to go upstairs. None of that. He's like, I just drop her off. Now she gonna be hitting me up like, hey, what's up? What you doing? I want to see you. I want to hang out. I'm handling business right now, little mama. When I have time, I'll come scoop you. I go scoop her. I show her a good time. Then I drop her ass off. So I'm like, where does the pussy come into the picture? He's like, that's the thing. So now she gonna be like, this dude bringing all this value into my life, but he don't want no pussy. What do I give him in exchange for it? I want to keep this dude around, but I don't know what to give him. So now she gonna start asking me, baby, you need something? What can I do for you? Every time I mention something, she be like, I can do that for you. I can do that for you. You want me to take care of that for you? I can go get that. I can go pick it up. I can go over there. I can do that. And I was like, word? So I started doing what he was saying. I started implementing it. And it started working, bro. I had all these chicks in Houston running around for me, running errands, and I ain't put no dick in none of them. But what happened was they was all working for the dick now. They working for the dude. So anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is let older guys that got a certain swag about them or whatever, study them, ask them, figure out what their mindset is. Because I keep telling you guys, everything is a mindset. Everybody thinks alpha and beta is a look or an appearance, or it's certain things you do. It's not. It's a certain mindset that you have. One of these dudes in the chat brought up the ladies' man, Leon Phelps from Saturday Night Live. I used to do that skit at the nightclub, bro. So I used to introduce that character to women. What's up? Welcome to the ladies' man. I'm your host, Leon Phelps. How y'all ladies doing tonight? That persona, that personality, it was working on women in real time. They didn't understand that I took it from Saturday Night Live. They thought that was a character I made up. You see what I'm trying to say? And they're like, oh my God, he's so funny. He's so cute. Oh shit. And you hitting them with these compliments, you charming them, you flirting with them. Next thing you know, they laughing their panties off. The point is that character has a lot of confidence and a lot of charisma, right? And he's saying kinky and freaky stuff to women all the time, but he's doing it in a playful way.
Right.
You see what I mean? That's why I can go up to a hot chick and smell her armpit. That's why when he said that, I'm like, I'm not gonna condemn you for that, because I do that. And women be like, what you doing? I'm like, damn girl, the animal in you. They be like, what the hell are you doing? But later on that night, I'll be rawr. You see what I'm saying, guys? Right. So yeah, become that dude, get comfortable, get playful, let your personality become larger than life, because that's what's going to allow you to do what you want with women. That's what's going to make the woman want to do what you want her to do, to the point where she's going to start asking you. You know, you're becoming that dude when women start asking you questions like, baby, I'm going to get my nails done. What color should I get? Baby, should I do this or should I do that? You need me to do anything for you? Baby, I'm going shopping. You need me to pick you up anything? Then you're like, oh shit. That's when you're becoming that dude, guys. All right. So that's what I want you guys to focus on. Become that dude, bro, before you put yourself in situations, or what's going to happen is you're going to lose those situations and you're going to be at the mercy of the other people involved. And you don't want that. And that's what's happening to a lot of guys. And then they come here and they complain. You know what I mean? They come and complain about the treatment that they're getting.
Right.
And it's like, but you didn't become that dude that people was going to gravitate towards. You didn't become that dude that a chick is going to like let you lead and dictate. People follow people that know where the fuck they're going.
Right.
So if you don't show her you know where you're going, she has no reason to follow you. If you don't show her you can lead other men, she gonna be like, why would I trust this nigga with my time and my livelihood?
Exactly.
That's just stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys for checking in. Pete, thank you so much, man, for tuning in. We got a show tomorrow, guys, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Subscribe to Authentic Alphas. Check out those 2 videos Ayende was shouting out earlier. What were the 2
Definitely.
again?
The videos is You Are Not the Father,
and the other one was
and How to Cohabitate with Women.
How to Cohabitate with Women. So check those out, guys. Subscribe to the main channel, mentuitionacademy.com. Will take you straight to our YouTube page. We hit the subscribe button, like, and comment. Tomorrow we may have a special guest. We met a friend of Kevin Samuels a couple days ago.
Rest
so
in
he may be
peace.
coming on and giving a
One of the
monologue.
girls we had on actually used to do his hair back in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I
we're gonna
met
bring her
Kevin.
on.
He's talked to Kevin. I think met Kevin. So guys, like we keep telling y'all, that apples don't fall too far from a tree. We know a lot of these people. That's why we're in this space. We're a lot closer to these people than you think. So like Ayende said, man, make sure you build yourself up so you're not like, this clown in the chat, right? He's spending 3 hours talking crap on people. If you build yourself, you make yourself somebody, you'll have better things to do with your time. And you'll be able to be that high value man that Kevin loved to describe. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And
we're trying to set something up with Unfiltered Podcast.
Oh yeah.
And this is what I want to do with them. I want to swap girls.
Yeah, swap the girls. That'd be cool.
Like, remember that show, Wife Swap or whatever?
Right.
I want to swap the female guest. So trying to figure out what's some fun, creative ways that we could do that. So
yeah, we might even do a stream with them. Maybe.
No,
maybe
we're gonna definitely do.
We'll have,
but we want a competition though.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Not us competing with them, but we're bouncing around ideas on how we could have girls here competing with girls over there on a dual stream.
Right.
So we don't know if it's going to be like maybe questions we ask or I don't know, some kind of challenges or something. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. But we're trying to make it fun, guys. So we're open to suggestions. Just make sure they're good ones. Think them through before you reach out to us. Don't just come at us with half-cocked ideas. Make sure you really thought it through. But we're looking for really good ideas, even if it comes from like some show or something else that already existed that had girls competing to do something. But it obviously has to be tasteful, has to be fun, something that girls would actually enjoy doing. And then we can give prizes so that there's stakes. So I don't know, what would it be? Don't say twerk contest or something,
We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta
need
brainstorm
something or questions or something.
Yeah,
like,
but definitely stay tuned, guys. In the future, we're gonna be collabing with other channels, up and coming channels, other content creators. Hector Jesus.
Yeah, we're gonna start.
We're gonna try to get him in.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we gotta start collabing with people that are in the space, man. We're too many haters, too much stuff going on. We're better all together helping you guys out. So I think that's all we got, right? Anything else?
Yeah, that's all we got, man.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you, Pete. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, Pete, we're gonna let Pete actually close out. One more thing, guys. Hit me on the consults, man. Like I always suggest, hit me before you do something stupid or before you do something great. Either way, whether it sounds like a good idea or a bad idea, hit me up first, preemptively, man. I mean, I'm trying to, have some damage control here. Guys always hit me up after they already did what they did. And I can still help you either way, but I want guys to get amazing results. So I'd rather they check in first. Me personally, I always check in with my mentor before I do something, just so I don't do something stupid. He sees something that I won't see. That's just being 15 years older than me. He always sees something I didn't see. So I'm probably older than a lot of you guys. So I'll see something you didn't see or you wouldn't have seen. So prevent yourself from the fuck up. Pete, what you got on the way out, young blood?
No. Good stream.
Thanks, man. We
Appreciate
appreciate you. We'll be here tomorrow. And yeah, class is officially dismissed. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Share
all right?
my shit.
Peace.